Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Anthony Frazier from MovieMan Productions, and today I'm back. I'm back and I have some friends with me. This is going to be a really different episode of MovieMan Wonders because this time I'm wondering who liked and didn't like the new Star Wars film. And to kind of help me out with that today, I don't have Matthew with me. That's a shocker. But I do have my two good friends. Got Ethan Vargas with me.
Hello.
Then I got Nathan.
How's it going?
Thurston. Yeah. All right. So cool. First off, before we get all into this, how are you guys doing today?
I'm good. I just came here from seeing the movie for the fourth time.
Oh my god.
Not intentionally. It's the holiday season. Family wants to go see it. Yeah. It's a big kind of world phenomenon. So
yeah.
I just saw the movie, so that's how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty good.
Understandable. Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well too. I watched it when it first came out, and then I went the next day, took notes, got in trouble.
You got in trouble for taking notes?
Yeah, no.
How?
This dude saw me on my phone, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm
you
I'm
didn't
taking notes right now.
Oh.
Was it one of the people who worked at the theater?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. And he was like, "You can't be on your phone right now." I was like, "Yes, I do. I have to take these notes so I don't forget it, so I can talk about it."
Sir, you don't
Yeah,
understand.
you do not
This
understand.
is for a podcast.
I'm gonna be famous. No. No. Mm-hmm. I have some issues with this.
Oh yeah.
I have so many issues.
You and me both.
I mean, you've already seen what I've written down. But
oh yeah, we got a whole smorgasbord for you guys right here. But first off, before we get into this film or dissecting it, I want to say there are going to be massive spoilers because
Lots and lots of spoilers.
we saw this movie inside out, upside down,
at least
Backwards.
backwards.
Yeah.
And I'd say we're all pretty big Star Wars fans.
Oh, yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all grew up with it.
I still
Yeah.
have the original VHSs of the
Same.
original
Ooh.
3.
I have two.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
No,
insane.
I have two of them.
No, I have.
I have 3 of them.
I have two collections of the same thing.
Yeah,
I have the
okay.
special
Oh, yeah,
edition and
okay,
the-
okay, I got
Gotcha.
Okay, well, yeah, so first off, Nathan,
Yes.
did you like the movie?
I did like the movie. I've seen it 4 times, which I think if you see a movie twice, I think then you can finally. Yeah. Okay. So I did like the movie. I think once you see a movie twice, then you can kind of soak in all the information you need to be able to really judge it accurately. 3 times just to be safe. And I, like I said, unintentionally saw it 4 times. So. I did like the movie. Like any movie, there are things that I didn't like about it, very specific things. But overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, Ethan.
Well, I totally agree with you on that. That it was a fun movie, but coming from a Star Wars based fan base, or you know, loving it.
Yeah, growing up.
It's not what it was for me, at least. It wasn't a Star Wars.
It was
movie. It was a fun
very
movie.
different. It was very fun.
Yeah.
But from what we've seen in Star Wars to what Episode 8 gave us with the arrival of Episode 8, it was so drastically different. Almost
Most
insanely so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to give props to Ryan Johnson because he took a lot of risk in this in this movie, like a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because and I can understand as a filmmaker, wanting to this is your project and you want to make it in your vision.
Right.
But man, it's so hard when you mess with different fan bases, especially big fan bases like freaking Star Wars. Marvel gets it right, even though they have a lot of wrongs, which I'll get to that in another podcast.
Oh, dude, don't get me started, please.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
Oh yeah,
That's a whole other thing.
that is yeah. And then freaking but yeah, but Ethan, I'm gonna have to go with you on this one. I didn't care for it. I really didn't. There was a lot of things that didn't feel Star Warsy.
Well,
But then there's a lot of things that worked for me.
Yeah. Well, they tried to make it as a Marvel movie. They tried to put in the jokes,
Yeah.
which I loved.
Yeah.
But
It was too humorous at
for
times.
me, Luke, that's not what Luke would do. He wouldn't look at the lightsaber. Sorry, spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah, huge spoilers.
But I don't see him as he would look at his lightsaber and be like, nah,
Yeah,
and just no, that's not him.
Even Mark Hamill, he was all like, "That's not my Luke," and he's
Exactly.
all
No, yeah, they're and now online it's been blown up about how
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was not a huge fan of what his character was given.
Yeah, and that should tell the director. Because
honestly, I don't blame him with something as legendary as Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, in the trailers, one of the things he says is it's not going to go the way you think, and that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Mark Hamill was warning us, not just in the movie, but just like in real life. You are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams. Okay.
Yeah.
So people rag on J.J. because they're all like, "Wow, so you just gave us a new hope." Pretty much.
Right.
Which I argue to this day. I love Force Awakens. And it did take elements from New Hope. But you have to realize the New Hope is a structure called, what's it called? Like the hero? What's it called? The hero's... It's,
arc?
Yeah.
Hero's arc, yeah.
And that's pretty much what it followed. I mean, and because it's in the same setting, as New Hope was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, same... franchise and all that. I mean, it's of course it's going to be similar. I mean, you have to show the rise of a hero and
right.
And you got to start. You got to start.
I mean, we see that in any movie. I mean, like look at Ant-Man or Iron Man. Same thing.
Right.
It's gonna be the same.
Yeah, you always have the hero.
That age-old formula that never ever fails.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like the reason why people were so mad about it was because, hey, it's been gone for a really long time.
Right.
We haven't expected a movie like this coming out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, JJ filled The Force Awakens with giving us new characters and also having to balance that with the old characters and what's happened to them.
Yeah.
And then with a boatload of nostalgia as well.
Right.
And so, I mean, that in itself and trying to, I don't want to say reboot, but like kind of kickstart once again this like legendary franchise is a huge feat in itself.
Yeah.
And I think he did. I know that people say that he did New Hope, but he nailed it.
Right.
Yeah,
and
you had to play it safe too.
Yeah.
For the first movie, you had to play it safe,
Right.
Because you don't want another Phantom, which I love Phantom Menace. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But you definitely had to play it safe, and I think that was the perfect thing to do for a first film in this new franchise.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad Rian Johnson didn't do the whole Empire Strikes Back, which he kind of did, honestly.
Right.
Because it kind of felt like The Last Jedi. It did at times feel like Empire Strikes Back, because the whole thing about Empire Strikes Back is you're gonna lose sometimes, and that's all right, But you gotta look for tomorrow, no matter what happens, and that's kind of what Last Jedi was telling us too. But they didn't tell it the way I liked, to be honest. But
the weirdest thing that I kind of have picked up, and now after seeing the movie so many times, and reading what people say online and things like that, the thing that strikes me as the most odd is in episode 7, after that had come out and the dust had settled, and people could really not be in the heat of the moment of oh, Star Wars, people were getting very upset because they were like, well, it's just a New Hope, like you said. It's just, we had a bigger Death Star, big deal, we had to blow it up, trench run, all that stuff.
It was dope, though.
But then all they did was complain for, give us something different, something new, right? And then, fast forward 2 years later, here we are with The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
We get something brand new, and it is very different and kind of off kilter from what we're used to. And then everyone goes, well, where's all the nostalgia? Where's all the... You can't have both, and I feel like... sometimes people forget you can't have both, and I don't know. It's such a weird line it's a dodgy line to kind of crisscross.
And you brought up a very good point. Well, about the whole Death Star thing, because it made me think about something that was confused out for the entire movie. Okay, I guess we're gonna just kind of get into the actual movie now.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting off, we got Poe. He's taunting. What's his name? Hux.
Yeah, General Hux.
And okay, so the rebels, they're at their tails in right now. They barely have anyone. And the whole time during this whole movie, I'm thinking, how does the Empire have so many, they've got so many people, because they destroyed everything.
I was about to say, I was just thinking that I came here from watching it for the 4th time. So while I was watching it, they have this huge Snoke's huge ship. They have all these Star Destroyers. There's everything everywhere. And what was going through my mind was like, didn't they just blow up Starkiller
Yeah,
Base?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, where shouldn't all of you guys be dead, or at least like the First Order should be crippled in some kind of way?
Yeah, exactly. But they're like, oh, we're stronger than ever, and then
Yeah, they seem to still have unlimited resources.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And it's insane, and it just didn't make sense. It really didn't. I mean, I know he was trying to tell a story, and that was probably like an element to the story he was trying to tell. But man,
I mean, I guess you could kind of give it some clout because I guess like they probably had like fleets of ships and stuff all spread out through all the galaxy and stuff. But I still think they shouldn't have had as much power. And even if they did have the same amount of power, they should have been more disorganized than they were.
oh yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
with their home base getting blown up like that, when just like Empire Strikes Back and then A New Hope, no one thought you'll never blow up the Death Star. It happened.
exactly.
Yeah, 3 times now.
Oh, yeah.
It
So
was like the same way.
they should have at least been disorganized and kind of like scrambling on what to do and how to fix this.
Well,
problem.
I always think of if you look in the trailers for Star Wars Battlefront 2, they're watching it getting exploded.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved that. I
Amazing, right?
Yeah. I still haven't played that game,
one
but I love
positive
that that's a
thing
thing.
from that
I've been
is
playing
the
the
story.
original all
Yeah.
day this
It's
morning.
so good.
Yeah.
So good. But I feel like that's kind of like how it would play out, essentially, in 7.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, like how you said, they have them everywhere else.
Right.
Probably all full force, especially since the rebels are super thin at this moment.
But still, I mean, he's right though. They should be crippled, like because this was a big deal for the Empire.
I mean, they had
freaking Death Star.
They had
It's
that
like a
weird
double Death Star.
They had that weird like Third Reich Nazi speech in
Oh my
episode
god,
7.
I forgot about that.
I forgot
And
about
there's like thousands of troops.
Yeah.
And General Hux gives like this very like Hitler-esque speech.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
it's
love
like
that
it's
scene,
it's
though.
very powerful.
You like Hitler? Okay.
It's a very powerful moment. God. It's a very powerful
The way you
moment.
put it, I mean,
I know. I get you. I know what you mean.
That's what you take away. Anyway, it's a very powerful moment, and then to go from that to like all those people should have been dead.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know,
super dead.
I
like-
don't know how General Hux got out of there.
Yo,
I
they
don't know
put
how like Phasma got out of there. Like it makes no sense. So that's
especially fast, but oh my god.
didn't they throw her in the trash compactor? Just
Every
saying.
time. That's why. Okay.
We'll get to fast
Well,
ones
yeah,
later.
we'll get
about
to that.
that.
Really quick before we go on, we were talking about JJ and Ryan, and as a filmmaker, I'm curious. In episode 7 is also, I mean, so Last Jedi is about 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The longest Star Wars movie that we've had thus far out of all the 8. And JJ's movie was also pretty long. I think it was just over 2 hours.
Yeah, it was 2:10.
So give or take like 15-20 minutes. That's still a long movie. A 2-hour movie
yeah,
is a
for
long
sure.
time. But for me, when I saw episode 7, it didn't feel like a 2-hour movie.
That's because you enjoyed it.
Well, don't twist my words. But I'm just saying, I feel like with JJ, the cuts were smoother and it was more seamless. And I really, and again, maybe it's just me because I've seen it so many times, Last Jedi so many times now. But when I was watching it today, it felt kind of choppy.
Oh yeah.
It felt like, you have things with Luke and Rey, and then out of nowhere, you're bouncing over to the randomness that is Finn and Rose. And then from there going back to Finn and Rey to going back to Hux for no reason and stuff like that.
It's because the movie was originally like over 3 hours long, and he had to make a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
And I could see that. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this in every Star Wars movie ever, but do you ever notice that transition that's like a wipe?
Yeah. No, that's
They
like a Lucas
barely
thing.
use that in this.
No, they did.
Are you sure?
Are you kidding me?
That's
what irritated me.
Oh, that's what
I was
irritated
like,
you?
Yeah, because it reminded
love
me
those.
so
Yeah,
much.
that's not fair
of-
though, because Star Wars is famous for the wipes.
I
Yeah,
know,
it was just-
but it's like with JJ
Or the
I didn't-
circles.
JJ, I didn't.
Oh yeah,
like,
the circles. Yeah.
Well, yeah. JJ. yeah. But with JJ, I didn't see them. Like that wasn't what.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It didn't
Like,
take me out and being like, oh, there's a wipe
right
there.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying because after
Yeah.
when I was seeing it today, I noticed every single
Yeah.
time they did. Sometimes they did just like quick cuts or something
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like fading or whatever. I don't know what you call
Yeah.
it.
No.
But
got it.
with The Force Awakens, it felt very smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one was a little bumpy.
And Star Wars is like the only franchise that can get away with that wipe because it looks cheesy in anything else. Because
I'm trying to think of
There's,
something else.
there's
that
really
happened.
no other way
Yeah.
to get to like different corners of the galaxy in
Yeah.
like a seamless way. I always liked the wipes, but I I don't know. As a filmmaker, I was just curious if that was just me being crazy.
Wait, what was your question again?
Like, did it feel choppy to you? I mean, both of you.
Yeah.
Did it feel choppy to you guys?
You go first.
I don't know.
I felt like at times, yes, because there's too much going on for the movie.
There's a lot of exposition happening.
Yeah, so much going on because you had like Poe and this new captain. You got Finn and Rose. You got Rey, and you got Kylo, and then they would like mix them up all the time. It's just like, yeah, and then which will kind of bring us to the next thing that pissed me off through the whole movie was the freaking casino thing, because that was gone. That whole scene was gone for like 15 minutes, and then they came back to it, and then it was
didn't like when BB-8 got all those coins in him, and then he was like, "Oh, BB-8 later." Yeah, like once I knew that like I saw that, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna shoot those."
Yeah,
he's gonna shoot them.
He's gonna shoot him.
I was like, and he did.
I will agree. The casino thing was completely fruitless.
Yeah. It was bad. It was so bad. I hated it. The looks. It looked good, but it did not look like Star Wars.
No, it did not look good.
I thought it did. I thought it was beautiful. It was beautiful, but it did not look good for Star Wars.
It was visually stunning, but it just didn't fit with like, and even like Finn and Rose being put in that in that scene. They looked out of place.
Yeah, because
and I know that's kind of the point, but still, like,
Never mind. I don't know if I should get into this.
Even past like how it looked.
Okay.
It was pointless. If Admiral Holdo would have told Poe in the first place when he asked, I know that he was being kind of a dick and was kind of challenging his superior in a way, but at the same time, in a time of dire need and crisis like that, I feel like if when he went to Admiral Holdo and she said, and he asked her like, "What's our plan? We don't have a lot of fuel, blah blah blah." Yeah. She just kind of like brushed him off, like and I know that Leia demoted him, but even then, like, I don't think it's that hard to share your plan with the people you're leading. I think they should know how to follow you.
Yeah, exactly. And back with the whole casino thing, it had that stupid subplot in it. No, it wasn't even a subplot. It was like a little theme. It was like, okay, the rich, they're evil, and we need to preserve animals. Like,
they're Sarah McLachlan. In the arms of the
exactly, and that
so bad.
And that just took you out of the movie completely. Hey. That was like the what?
Those things were cute though.
Okay, the porks are better, but like
porks were. I could have eaten one. Chewbacca should have ate that one.
And people don't like that scene, but I actually thought it was kind of funny, to be honest.
I thought it was funny.
He was like, "Oh, come on."
Even then, though, the weird like ASPCA shout out was not needed.
Yeah. It really wasn't, and it was just like, and plus he was already trying to cram so much into that movie.
Oh no, he did.
Yes, and then like, and just adding on this whole theme of, the whole rich people and it was just so unneeded. Yeah, it was just. I hated that scene, and I hated Rose. I think that was like one of the main reasons why I hated this scene.
People actually like Rose.
I feel like so I understand why people like her because woman empowerment. Chinese. She's Asian American. Yeah. It's a big deal. But she could have been a good character. She could have been.
Yeah.
But she was like weird and kind of ditzy. And they had that forced like love thing with them. Oh my god! Which you can't fall in love with somebody in 12 hours. They can just go ahead.
You can fall in love with John Boyega.
Have you ever been on Facebook?
You shut your mouth. It's so stupid. I don't understand that at all.
And then it was like, she added nothing to the movie though.
Really?
Like she was.
Well, there's a lot of things that didn't.
Her sister did more. Her sister, who died in the beginning, did more for the movie.
Okay, so whenever I saw that, I didn't even think that she had a sister. I was like.
Well, you saw the necklace thing, the weird like yin yang necklace.
Yeah.
Well,
have you noticed that like all the main characters are minorities in these Star Wars films?
Yeah, Poe's like,
which I'm like
Hispanic.
I don't know.
I'm happy that we have a black lead character.
I am too, but but it just feels like in this day and age they're kind of forcing it in so everyone can be happy.
Because you can't win in this day and age now.
You really can't.
You can't. Everyone's got to be safe and everyone's got to like be nice to everybody and
I do love Finn though. He's like literally one of my favorite characters.
I'm
not gonna argue about that.
I was gonna be pissed at the end.
A friend of mine hates Finn.
Really?
Yeah, a friend of mine hates Finn.
Really? He was conflicted at the end for me, but
well, I mean,
he's always conflicted.
I understand because
that's right. He's like, we gotta escape.
Well, I mean, like he's always running away from something, and he's always kind of like conflicted with.
Which that's his character, though.
He's also sweaty all the time. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I can relate. I can relate.
Like I was like, okay.
Are you sweaty, boy? You sweaty?
I did like how at the end of episode 8 though he kind of comes into his own and he's finally like ready to like stand his own ground and stuff like that.
I was hoping to God that they would freaking like train him to be a Jedi.
When he held the lightsaber, I was like,
yes, I know.
For episode 7.
And then he got his ass beat.
I know. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't have the rip on the jacket.
Whenever he came back.
I don't think he had it.
Remember, because Kylo Ren like sliced him in the back.
Oh, was that his original jacket?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because they had a little cut right here from when Kylo Ren got him.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Well,
this.
did they show
and
his
they didn't
back,
have
though? Did they?
Well, they did for a little bit, but even
okay.
then, like they don't have the because I'm pretty sure he sliced all the way up there. That
Yeah,
shit
no,
cut
I
right through all
can.
that.
I know. Yeah, I should have freaking paralyzed him.
I'm telling you, man, these little details.
Right? Yeah. Well, but
me.
also I feel like with going back to just the directors in their place, he totally destroyed all of what JJ.
It's almost like
making.
Ryan Johnson watched episode 7 and was like, okay,
he's like,
none of that.
None of that. Yeah.
And watched all like the fan theories and stuff on YouTube and was like, yep, nope.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I hate the fans. He was like, that's. That was like the first thing in the opening crawl because I didn't get to read the opening crawl. To be honest. Fuck the fans.
Fuck you guys.
But the thing is, we were looking up his IMDb page,
Right.
but he's done some really good things.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not like
one good, one or two.
Well, I mean, but that's good enough at this point. Like you should know.
Not for a star. Right. I feel like you should have more clout if you want to freaking. Said clout. Yeah. If if you're going into Star Wars, because Star Wars. I
totally agree with that. Yeah.
That's a major franchise, man.
But then also, I kind of look down on Disney for that because
he's just buying up everyone.
Disney's just like
Pac-Man.
we'll give anybody one. At
Well,
this point.
it's so different because so A New Hope came out in 1977.
Yeah.
Right, and then I think the next movie came out in 1980 or 81.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. That's a pretty good chunk of time. And for really great stories and really good visual effects and stuff like that, the time gets shorter because we have all this computer technology. But at the same time, like Disney's putting out a new Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah, which I don't like that.
I don't like that either
because you're gonna lose. You're
forced.
losing it. You're
It's
losing
forced.
all the magic that Star Wars has behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They're making it into a Marvel.
Exactly, and I'm not sure about that because originally they were gonna before they cut their ties with Netflix, they're gonna have like a freaking Netflix series or a couple of them actually.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I'm not too sure about that. Like I'm good with having a movie every other year.
Yeah.
Or I'm cool with having just this trilogy and then we wait quite a while, then we have another one.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be doing a Boba Fett anthology in 2019.
They're having everyone's getting an anthology at this point.
The only anthology, I mean, Rogue One was an okay movie.
What?
I mean, okay. The thing with Rogue One is the movie was very well done for taking a very small snippet of A New Hope and turning that into a full film. I thought they did a great job with that. And that Darth Vader scene was the most badass thing I've ever
my
seen.
God. I watched it today. I was like, I got tingles. I was like,
yeah, me too.
I actually, I had a moment where I was like, fuck! In the movie, where, Darth Vader, picks up that dude and puts him on the ceiling, slices him in half.
Well, because you think about New Hope, you could have ran from him.
It was two crusty old dudes fighting in suits. It was so bad.
And R2-D2 got away from him. Everybody else could have got away from him.
I know.
But in this one...
Well, they're trying to protect... But they were trying to protect the droids, though. Remember?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he had the message. And, but I did like the anthologies. I'm probably more excited for the Obi-Wan anthology.
Oh, that's never gonna happen.
Is that gonna happen?
No, I think that is gonna happen. I
want Ian McGregor back, to be honest.
He was in 7. And he might be in 8.
He was in 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
whenever they go
in the Force Vision thing.
Oh yeah.
No, whenever they go to mods in 7.
Well,
and he gets the
the flashback, the
lightsaber.
Okay, no. Rey touches the lightsaber, and then she has that weird vision.
Yeah.
And he's the one.
Okay,
he's the one who says these are your first steps.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. In that weird whisper thing.
Yeah.
Which that made to be honest, that was cool. That was a cool scene, but none of that happened. Nothing that
they
happened
totally
in
did
that
away with the Knights of Ren. I was so excited to see that.
That's exactly what I was gonna bring up.
I don't really think that they have yet.
Well, here's the thing, because
we're gonna see it.
From what I've heard, the Knights of Ren, they were actually in, what's it called? They were in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
but his 3-hour cut, I guess he had to like take them out. I don't know if I believe that because I don't have confirmation of it.
Actually,
but
I think I believe that because I remember like
It would
months
make
and
sense.
months ago, the people were like trying to find out things about the Last Jedi, and they were when they were in Ireland on that island. I think it's called Skellig Michael or something like that. They were on the island, and someone had released an article about how they had taken pictures of the set from like very long distance, and someone had seen it or whatever. Yeah. And supposedly there was a scene with Mark Hamill fighting some of the Knights of Ren, and there was like a lot of wire work involved. And
Man, that would have been so bad.
That's why I'm like, there are a lot of problems I had with this movie, but I would love to see the full cut of that movie,
dude,
or just that scene.
Yeah,
Man, just that scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
that's all I really care about.
I have a deep spot in my heart for Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill because not only is he Luke Skywalker, but he's also the Joker.
Oh yeah,
yes.
And so because of that, like that's literally all of my childhood.
Right.
And he was the trickster on the
The
Flash.
Flash, that's right.
And then he came back
for the old one. That's right.
Yeah.
With John Wesley Shipp back in like 1980 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like
I have that whole first season.
Oh, do you really?
I love that old show.
Yeah. And then he was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because he was.
I still haven't seen that.
Really?
That's like
I love
that's
Kevin
one of my
Smith.
favorites.
I love Kevin. I'm so mad that you got to see him. I love Kevin Smith, but I haven't seen any of his movies. It's really kind of
Wait, you love him, but you haven't seen any of his movies?
I listen to his podcast religiously.
Oh yeah, you watch Fat Man on Batman?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Batman on Batman is so good.
This is why I'm actually doing all this podcast.
Him and Mark Bernardin are the best.
And then he used to do Hollywood Babylon, but I guess they had to fire what's his face?
The other dude, Bruce.
Not Bruce. It was.
What was? I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. His friend. They had to fire him. I didn't read the article though, but he was kind of pissed off about that.
Wow.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, enough Kevin Smith.
Digressing.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3 on this list that we have, you have the decoder on there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Which kind of goes with the casino place, which I understand you because my whole thing is like I thought he was going to. Okay, I knew he was going to sell them out.
Yeah,
but then I'm
see that
like,
coming from a mile away.
Yeah, but then I thought he was going to like be like, I got my money, so I'm gonna.
Wait, that's
save
your.
I thought when the walker started shooting people, I thought it was gonna be him up there on the walker.
That's what I thought. I didn't know it was gonna be BB-8.
And that would have been such a better payoff than it being BB-8. But because it wasn't him, Benicio del Toro had even less of a part in that movie than that whole like casino subplot. They had no reason for him.
I forgot he was even gonna be.
The only thing that he did for them was get them out of the jail cell.
Yeah,
like really, that's it. Because the rest of their plan did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, but also, Maud, or what is her name? Maud? Is it Maud?
Maz?
Yeah.
Maz. She goes, "There's only one decoder person in the world. There's another dude in the jail cell."
I think that was the guy. Though.
No,
because remember, so when you're in the
They pointed
casino,
at the dude.
they have like this scene where you see like this dude. He's like he's a good looking dude. He's got his hair slicked back. He's got like a white coat on. He's got that red bloom thing on his lapel.
Okay. Well, because I thought that he actually had one too. I don't know.
They didn't show it.
No, there was probably like a whole little subplot about that in that movie, but they had to take
I feel like a lot of that might. Okay, regardless, I feel like that subplot is just
it's filler.
Yeah,
it's absolutely filler.
That's what most of the movie was filler.
Yeah. But I would really like to see that full cut. I really hope that Disney will allow that to be released because I feel like that would tie up a lot of loose ends.
I could see it
Disney's
on the DVD.
So like tight. Well, maybe on DVD, but not.
On the DVD, for sure.
Well, because they are getting destroyed online.
Yeah. They are.
Like, oh my gosh, it's bad.
Oh, but not by Rotten Tomatoes that says, "Hey, the critics, we're gonna give it a good old 96."
Does anybody ever use Rotten Tomatoes?
My aunt does religiously, and I tell her not to. I'm like, you gotta experience it for yourself.
It's not. Yeah.
I don't understand why the critics have it so high and the fans don't. I guess it's just because the critics probably aren't as.
It's Star Wars and Disney. That's why.
I really think that it's because they're not looking at it as a Star Wars film or a fan. They're just looking at it. Is it a good movie? Yes, it is.
It's a great movie, but as from a Star Wars fan perspective, I think that's
what they're not doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but so what was your problem with the decoder again?
That was it.
That was it. That was
essentially that.
Yeah, he wasn't needed.
Maz
you're right.
Totally says, "Hey, there's only one person. Oh, by the way, there might be another dude."
Well, I think I don't know. Like, I still want to believe that he was the Dakota that she was talking about.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I would believe
still,
that if we wouldn't have so many issues in this whole movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would have believed that if she
what's his
wouldn't have
name?
specifically said about that
we're
red
talking
thing
about
on
Rian
his
Johnson?
lapel.
Ryan Johnson, you are awful. Because he, like, this dude...
Well, hold on.
You got so close to the mic there.
Well, because I was trying
ASMR
to read his name.
Yeah.
He sucks. Because he does that type of stuff. And, like, yeah, the only thing that I can say that he did positive in this whole thing is give Poe an arc. If you think about it.
He gave Poe development.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he
That's
gave
what
the
he
arc
gave him.
and development to make him a better person. And I was like, yeah, that's cool.
I think he did that with Kylo Ren well. Yeah.
I think-
I'm still confused about him.
I think we found out more. You probably I don't know. I feel like I learned a lot more about Kylo in the film, but in a way that it doesn't feel like I learned a lot more about Kylo. A lot is told about his character.
I'm totally with you on
Like
that.
in that, we're gonna get to it later with that amazing fight scene that they had in that throne room.
Oh, yeah.
But like, there's a split second, and even I've like seen it for the fourth time.
Yeah.
I still for like a very small second believe, oh, he's a good guy again, because he takes out Snoke, and then, which okay, yeah, we'll get
Oh
that.
man, damn.
But also,
But he takes out Snoke,
Yeah.
and then they have that moment where the lightsaber flies into Rey's hand, and he ignites his, and they have that moment where they're like, okay.
I thought they were gonna fight each other at that point, and then that was gonna be the climax of the movie.
when they turn back to back, they have that great fight scene. Like, I really thought, okay, that's it. Like he's gonna be
I was hoping not.
finally
actually,
like making that transition back to being where he is.
he's going to be bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that's over, it's like immediately he snapped back to, okay, he's dead. We can just do away or what does he say? What's his saying? Like kill.
kill the past.
Or
something
let the
like
past die.
Yeah, the past.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And which I understand that, but at the same time, it's like it was a complete 180.
Okay, kind of off subject, but on subject. Is his voice real? Like, because
No, it's Keanu Reeves.
shut up. No, it's like because when he talks, it sounds like really like deep and robotic.
No, that's how he sounds.
That's really how he
because I
sounds?
watched.
Yeah. If you look at
Patterson-
interviews, that's how he sounds.
Watch
He's
Midnight.
got a cool voice. Though.
Either Patterson or No, it's not Paddington. Patterson.
Paddington Bear.
No, because it's a radar movie. I don't know.
Star Wars?
But, right? That one or Midnight Special.
Okay.
And he's in that one.
Oh, I've seen
and
Midnight
he totally
Special,
sounds.
actually.
Well, okay, he's the.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
He's the interviewer
Yeah.
guy from. Yeah.
He totally sounds the same.
Oh yeah, totally.
Huh.
What
What were you gonna say though?
I don't remember.
Something
Hold
about
on.
Kylo Ren, his development, blah blah blah.
Kylo, yeah. I feel that the reason why he didn't go back is because essentially he killed Snoke.
He can't go back.
Well,
Well, that's
Yeah.
I think
No.
that's what he's thinking because he killed his dad,
Right.
and he's like, I can't show my face to my mom.
Yeah, but-
like,
yeah,
and,
but
like,
he
I just-
let-
I
he's
wanna
like, I
know
might as
why-
well just stay here.
I want to know why he lied to General Hux and said that Rey killed Snoke.
because then if he
Oh,
okay
well,
if you
that's
kill
mutiny. That's mutiny.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know, but even then, like, what would General Hux do about it?
shoot him.
They would all be like, okay, he killed
Kylo Ren
he killed our supreme leader.
Kylo Ren is way more powerful than any of those people on that ship.
I don't think he could take
no.
like 1,000 stormtroopers coming
But
at
I
him. to
But
be
even
honest.
then, though,
There's still somebody out there that's stronger, just as like Snoke, though. Because I remember back in Episode 3, Palpatine talks to Anakin about
Darth Plagueis.
Plagueis. Yeah.
Which I thought
Thank you.
that's what I thought Snoke.
No,
okay,
Snoke
okay,
is like a
okay.
whole
We gotta
different
stop
person.
talking about Snoke because I've got so much to say about him, but we
Yeah.
got other stuff we gotta get out of the way
what's
first.
number 4?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Yeah, Mary
Yes.
Poppins. Okay, so Ethan, you wrote
First
down
of
Mary
all,
Yeah.
rip Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
You're great actress, man. She was
Yeah.
great.
And she's funny as hell.
Yeah, she was hilarious.
I know.
She had some really good books that she did. We did a whole like package on her at my job, and man, she was an amazing woman, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
You guys need to look up
R.I.P.
some stuff she's done.
But yeah, no, the reason why I wrote Mary Poppins there is because whenever I went and saw the movie, I went with a couple of my friends, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, so you guys thought that part was weird?" He was like, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and like, he goes, "Yeah, all I could think though is while she's like, going through the."
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, like spoonful of sugar. Like I mean, and I just started dying laughing. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
That totally like.
See,
But But yeah,
because we all knew she was force sensitive.
yeah, but like
Right.
you
But
don't
like,
have to show it.
I guess.
But here's the thing, though, 'cause why was she so strong? Like, if she was that strong, then
know.
why
I
did
have a-
Rey have to go find Luke?
I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe they were trying to make it seem like in that like 30 years or however long 35 years that is between episode 6 and episode 7 that maybe like Luke taught her things or whatever, which I could believe that
yeah, I
as
could
brother
believe
and
that too.
sister and her being in the Skywalker lineage. I could see that.
Yeah,
But
especially if her kid was force sensitive.
but I really felt like even though they did kill her in that way with the whole like bridge blowing up, I still felt like that was a good send off because they had that nice close up and that beautiful music behind her, and she's kind of floating in
it would have
space.
been.
But I mean, it would have been, and I feel like even then there could have been ways to do that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But her like using the Force to float in back.
Yeah, because I thought she was
It's just
done.
weird.
Yeah.
I thought she was done.
And now they have to find a way to bring her to end her
Well,
in,
yeah,
in
because they
episode
said
9.
she's going to be a big part in episode 9.
But you know what they
Did
do?
they say that?
Yeah, they said she's going to have a big
Okay,
part.
but they're not. Have they started filming on episode 9?
They, you know,
Probably.
it'll probably be a month before they start shooting. Because that's
So
what they
how
did
is she a
last
big
time.
part of episode 9? She's not alive. She can't be in it.
Well,
They
no,
got to
uh,
change some stuff up.
In Rogue
For
One,
sure.
they did it with General Tarkin, and they did
Here's
it with
the
her.
thing,
I
there's-
was just gonna look bad.
I debate to this day. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought the layout looked really good.
the Tarkin was very obvious, but the Leia
Oh,
did
yeah.
look really
No,
good.
yeah.
Well, I forgot Tarkin died, and he was
In real
and
life.
that. Yeah, and that.
What's his name? Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was realistic to me as well because I just didn't know I didn't know he was dead. That's my
Oh,
thing.
okay. Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
works for you. But like, I was like, he's dead, man. What,
Yeah.
what is
It's kind of
this
like one of
going
those like once you hear about it or see it things you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
on? Yeah.
But I really don't think that even though they did that in Rogue One, I don't think they do that in Episode 9
I don't think they should.
because it would just like the fans would rip them apart for recreating an entire Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher like throughout the
Bring
the
someone
course of
back
the
to
movie.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
it's
think-
almost disrespectful in a way.
Oh yeah.
You
most
know,
definitely.
apparently, I was reading an article, and apparently in Iron Man 3, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't in most of the movie.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was.
There are so many suits. He can't be all
No,
over
no,
this.
no, no.
A lot of those Iron Man scenes, like if you look at Civil War, once they get to the airport and they have the suit and his helmet like goes away,
Yeah.
that's like his body is not there. Like
Yeah.
that's all
Oh,
CGI,
yeah.
and
Oh,
his head is CGI'd
Yeah.
into
That even
that
happened
shot.
in Homecoming too.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, like he's got the easiest job in the world. He just goes in a little dark room, and then they like film
Yeah.
him saying stuff, and they put the heads up in front of him, and that's it. Like,
Jarvis, let's go.
yeah, I know,
Where those hot pockets, Jarvis?
but I don't know. I felt like the whole scene with Carrie Fisher, her forcing herself back into the bridge.
And it was just.
She should have been dead
Well,
as
yeah.
soon as that
No,
opened.
you know
up.
what they should have done? Instead of taking that general, what's her, the newest general, Halda, switch places. Leia dies. That would be the end for her, and it
Oh
would
my
be
gosh.
honorable.
Yeah, that
I'm
would've
glad
been-
you
It
brought
would have
that
been
up.
so honorable.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's what I was thinking through the whole
I thought
movie.
that's what they were gonna do.
Me too.
They did
But they're like, no, we have to have one person stay on the ship.
Yeah, it can be.
And I'm
it
like-
can be Leia.
I'm like, okay, so y'all are flying through space at hyperspeed,
Right.
and y'all can't invent like an autopilot or something. Like,
Right.
come on.
Well, but they had just found out about the hyperspeed thing, right?
Really
or the
quick-
tracking.
What?
Right? Oh, I'm going into something else.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
bad.
you're going-
Yeah, my bad.
Really quick. Okay, at the beginning of the movie, you see the bombers. You know, whatever that. What's her name? Rose's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when they open the bomb bay doors,
Bombay.
it's
you talking about?
they don't have like
Kakumba.
you know how like so on the big like cruisers
Yeah.
they have that little like blue shield that prevents like space from getting them when
Yeah.
they're in the hangar or whatever. They didn't have that at the bottom of the bombers. I know that's a very small
Yeah.
thing,
Oh, yeah.
but that should have just been all space, and she should have been dead.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. I'm like, man,
And
it must
then
be
this-
really cold.
The same thing should
Does
have
she have the
happened.
force too?
Everyone has a force now.
Everybody's
Force
got the
wizard.
Force.
When-
My little kid at the end had the Force. Like,
Oh
I mean,
my
come
god!
on.
Don't even. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
later.
Whenever Carrie Fisher forces herself back into the bridge, and there's like the hole in the side of the ship, they open those doors into space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been like,
Yeah, exactly.
Is no one catching these continuity errors?
anybody
Is-
see Interstellar? That would have not gone.
Here's the, okay, I hate to like nitpick like that, but
No,
I was
you're totally
watching.
right.
I was watching it and I was like, okay, this girl, she catches that little remote control detonator thing in space.
Yeah.
The doors are open and they're just falling, so there's nothing to stop. There's no like there's no like blue shield or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it should have been all dead. And also, how can things fall like that in space?
Because hey,
Because
movie
movie
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's small
And
things,
it-
and
yeah,
I'm
no, but I
nitpicking,
totally
but
agree
I
with
mean,
you.
it is.
Oh yeah.
At least they like with lasers and stuff, you can shoot it, so it's more believable.
Yeah.
But things dropping, I guess it could kind of.
Well, no, because
I
like
don't
okay,
know.
those things dropping at that rate, they would be floating.
It's very World War II.
Do you have gravity on that spaceship?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only reason. But then after they go out of the spaceship, they would start to go separate ways.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, this is what kind of baffles me about how strong Leia was. Okay, so you remember when Palpatine, he was telling the story about Darth Plagueis, how he could, he found like, what is it, eternal life or something, or bring people back to life.
No,
It was something.
convince the midi-chlorians to create life.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
No, hero, no. No,
How
okay.
did they not bring midichlorians back?
Anyways, hold on. Okay, so if Darth Plagueis, and he was like the strongest Sith Lord,
Right.
and if freaking Princess Leia can stop herself from dying in space and pull herself to a ship,
Then why isn't Mace Windu alive? I know where you're going with this.
no, it's just like
Yeah.
why?
But also-
Why did she not tell Rey? Oh, hey, by the way, I'm like a Force wizard right now.
It's bad writing. It's bad
Yeah.
writing.
Also, I like how nobody addresses it. No one's like, hey, hey, General Leia, how the fuck did you do that?
Oh, she does this all the time. They're like,
Oh, Leia.
No, I got this mini
she just like flies around everywhere.
She's just flying around the ship.
She's like really slow too. She's like 2 miles an hour.
No.
And then
Oh.
why was she in the bed for like half of the movie? Like
Yeah.
after that,
Because
I was
she-
like, nah, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Using
like
all your power.
so
I
you
did like how she-
survived space.
I did like how she fucking like blew the door off of the bridge and like like stunned
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
But still, no one addresses that, which I think is very weird. Because if I just saw General Leia, who like kind of just does nothing but sit in the control center the whole time,
Yeah.
use the Force and survive in fucking space, I would love to know
Exactly.
how and where she learned to do that.
I know, and it's just like, if she's just that powerful, like I said, why is Rey going out to find Luke? Like,
Well, okay, so there's more clout to being Luke Skywalker and being a Jedi Master.
Somewhat.
I'm sure, like,
but she survived in space.
yes, I know, and so
She brought
obviously,
herself back
Can
to
Luke
life.
do that?
That's why I'm saying clearly.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like, man, maybe it was a part that was cut. Who knows?
yeah.
Maybe there's a conversation that we're missing from the director's cut where
I
Luke.
don't watch that now.
I know. I'm saying it could give us a lot of backstory for all of these weird things that happen in the movie. But
You know they got the books that are going to be coming out too, though.
yeah, so
Which-
which means we all got to read those and then come back.
Yeah.
Which I hate that. Why don't they
Do you hate reading or
Well,
what?
yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
same here.
I can't read. No, it's just like, why do we? Well, no, okay, never mind. I was gonna hate on it, but then I was
No,
like,
actually-
no, actually,
I totally agree. Because like,
well, no, because like if you think about it, that gives us more backstory. But then again, I guess you.
But then it
Damn,
kinda-
I'm so
it-
conflicted now.
it's-
I'm like Kylo.
but it also
Kylo.
screws us up because then we have so much, and then yet whenever we go into these movies, we're gonna be like how we are right now.
I did, yeah.
Like if
Well,
you
they
go
should
in
they
the
should
mindset-
set it up in a way where it's not gonna conflict with each other. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if you watch, for people who aren't super fans, people who aren't like us,
Yeah.
if you just watch the movies, that should be one like cohesive story throughout all 8 episodes.
Yes.
You should be able to tell what all that is. But if you want more backstories or things that happens behind the scenes, like with Boba Fett, or like what happened in that big gap between episode 6 and episode 7, you should be able to go to the books if you want to.
Well, they have the
but you
comic
shouldn't
books that
have
do
to.
that.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's why a lot of people were
The comic books are
mad.
actually really good.
Well, a lot of people were mad because of Poe and Rey have already met in the comics.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know
What?
where specifically, but they've had that already like altercation.
I didn't even know
not
they were
altercation, but
I didn't
like,
even know they were
communication.
already in the comics because, well, the last time I looked at it, it was like way when Force Awakens came out because I saw the last thing I saw was Luke. He stumbled upon this like place or something, and he found all of these holograms of all the Jedis of the past, and he's gonna start to learn from them, which I think that's
kinda dope.
how he became a master.
I
But
still would have liked to see more of Luke and how powerful he was in the movie.
me too.
Well, I mean,
I know
feel
we're
like-
kind of like jumping all over the place
I
at
feel
this
like that
point,
kind of
but
shows though.
I mean, him projecting himself across like pretty much the entire
He's
galaxy
like in New
is
Zealand and like
is
I don't
amazing.
know where they are, but
right.
that's
I
a
mean,
long
it's
way.
amazing. It's amazing to see like what they did with that, but it's also kind of weird because like and I know that before we started recording this, we were talking about how George Lucas is kind of like divorced from Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah.
But George Lucas himself did say it, and he is like the father of all of this world that we all live. But he even said himself, Luke is like it. he is the most powerful Force user to pretty much ever live that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean,
arguably. And so...
Oh, that's going to change, apparently.
But I would have really liked to see... I mean, Ray says it in the movie that he cut himself off from the Force.
Right.
But I still would have really liked to see more of something. Because just projecting yourself across multiple planets and then saying, see you around, kid, and then fading away is not all that impressive.
Well, and also, he probably isn't dead.
He's coming back in 9.
Well,
he's coming back.
They don't die. They're just I mean, I guess
he became
you
one with the Force.
Yeah.
Well,
you can kind of say they die,
people,
but that's what they are. They're just
a lot of people have the issue of with Yoda whenever he came back. Also,
I love that.
I have another
That's my favorite
issue
scene in
with
the whole movie.
I have another issue with
Can't
that.
believe I didn't write that down.
I know. I totally forgot.
Big ass lightning bolt.
Right.
Well,
and that's
okay. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but I have an argument about that. I will.
What, the lightning?
Yeah, because. So what is the Force like?
In most of the movies, in most of the movies, it's something that surrounds and binds all living things in the universe and pretty much connects all of the universe, past, present, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. So when you're one with the Force, you're pretty much the universe at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's justified. I mean,
do people not like that?
Like
well, no. It's
which
just
one?
like because they're all like, how is he able to do that whole lightning bolt thing? I mean, he's one with the Force.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
because
we haven't seen anything like that from a Force Ghost.
Oh yeah. No,
point.
they've always just popped up and they smile.
Right.
and then Luke's like, yeah, I'm with an Ewok. Like, yeah. And then like Anakin shows up, but it's like Hayden, and it's like no. But no, we haven't seen them.
And that
action.
I think that goes to show how powerful Yoda really is because he's spent so much time. I mean, he was like 900 years old when he died or whatever.
Right.
And then 30 plus years, and I think 30, whatever. Now we're in episode 8 when he shows back up to Luke, and Luke is an older man. He's had so much time to be within the Force and learn how to manipulate it from the other side. And I think that is an incredibly fascinating element going into episode 9 because we all can agree that Luke will be coming back for episode 9 as a Force Ghost.
If Mark Hamill wants
to. I mean, really salty about it.
J.J. Abrams is going to be the head of episode 9, so I'm pretty sure they got along.
Did Mark Hamill like episode 7?
I think he did, but I think his main problem was like, where's Luke?
He turns around and like does that.
Yeah, that was his problem.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up real quick, just a little bit backtrack, is that like how you were saying about how he gets so much power, Yoda.
Right.
He controlled thunder.
Right.
I don't think anybody's done that at all as a Jedi.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that's going to be, like, we'll see Mark Hamill with even so much more power.
Yeah, I would love to see that in episode 9.
It would be very interesting.
And because it almost is like, I hate to put it in like a very, people talk about like, there's like the spiritual plane and the physical plane.
Oh yeah.
If you look at it's like that though.
So if you look at it kind of like that, it's really interesting to see, going forward, how Luke interacts from the spiritual plane with the physical plane not being there. Well, with
this
Rey
is the first time that I've
Finn.
actually kind of. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But this is the first time that I've ever kind of looked at it as a religion.
Yeah.
I've like throughout the whole thing, like I was like
with the whole sacred texts. And
well,
stuff
yeah,
like
but
that.
like I was like, okay, yeah, that's like a library. He's got that. It's fine. Right. But I never looked at it as like an actual religion because you don't see like the praying to anything.
Doesn't he refer to it as the Jedi religion?
Yeah,
but
he does.
Eight,
yeah, he does.
In 8, he does.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
then
saying.
they talk about the secret text.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Like, that would totally make you.
I mean, because that's where George Lucas got the idea.
Did he get it from Buddhism?
Yeah.
I think he got it from like.
I can see it.
Like kind of melding together a couple of different
religions.
religions.
Oh, well, yeah, but...
Yeah.
But, no, it's definitely based on religion.
Because I know for sure he definitely read this book called Hero of a Thousand Faces, and that really helped him with making Star Wars, which I have that book in my trunk.
Why don't you bring it?
I don't know. But, yeah, I could, I definitely see it.
Yeah.
Really spiritual,
Yeah.
But, okay, next thing. What is number 5?
5?
Phasma's death.
Okay, so before episode 8 came out, I remember watching these interviews with Kathleen Kennedy and like some people who were like, you had all those like little teaser things that came out on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing that they all kind of hyped up was, that commercial where like Phasma and Finn are fighting.
Yeah.
And and they even said like, okay, Phasma's gonna have a big part. And
Yes,
so
they did.
And so,
They did.
and honestly, she went out like a little bitch. Like
She
she pops up for a second when they're trying to
like
like.
walks in all badass.
I know.
And I'm like, yes.
And they have a pretty cool
Yeah.
fight scene.
Yeah.
But then she gets like bested pretty quick. But I honestly,
She's coming back.
I don't think she's dead.
Yeah, I don't either.
I hope she's dead. I don't want them to bring her back because if you bring her back at this point,
Will we get Boba Fett, please? would be
you're on the right path for
I would
Boba
love
Fett.
that.
But it's just like, I mean, how many times are you gonna kill a person off and bring them back? Like, it's gonna get old after a while. It's like on South Park when they keep killing Kenny off.
Well, that's their niche. That's
They don't. Well, which they had to stop doing that because people were.
Oh,
all
they
like,
did?
Well, we haven't seen Phasma's face except for her eye. Whenever Finn hit her with the weird like traitor thing.
And I feel like if they bring her back, she's not gonna have any more depth to her. I mean, I feel like people aren't gonna care.
Yeah,
And
it's a cool thing to think about because then you could have her like kind of scarred from all the flame and whatnot, and kind of have her like out for revenge against Finn.
Yeah.
But again, we have this like central plot between Rey and Kylo and the fate of the universe and the balance of the Force that we're kind of getting closer and closer to.
You know what would be pretty badass, but I know it would never happen. What if Phasma went to the rebellion?
That's not gonna happen.
That'd be kind of
It would be
interesting
awesome.
because,
It
like,
would
I
be.
mean, it's just to think about it. I mean, her like staying with the freaking stormtroopers.
What reason would she have for going to the
Exactly.
She keeps
Yeah.
getting her ass beat
by the rebels, though.
I mean, I will
That's the
admit
thing.
that is kind of a cool thing to think about because that you'd have to deal with like that whole like Finn and Phasma hate each other.
Yeah,
and,
and
yet
they
they're
have
on
to
this, and now they have to work together.
and then
Yeah.
they get together.
Yeah.
Instead of-
Oh wait, no.
Shut your mouth.
Finn is like playing
I
every
know.
girl, man.
Dude, he's hustling.
Yeah.
I'm still on board with Finn and Rey.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too. That's
Everybody-
why-
Everyone's like Rey and Kylo, and Kylo is a whiny
I
bitch.
Feel,
Yes.
I feel like somehow we're gonna find out that they're related somehow.
I don't think they're related.
I
I
don't
hope,
know.
and I hope they're not because
No,
Because
we've had,
it
we've
just
had
wouldn't
enough
make
of that.
It wouldn't make sense.
But
We've had
then,
enough of
also,
that.
it doesn't make sense that they're like, oh, who's my parents?
Oh,
and then
we'll get into that in a minute. But okay, back to Phasma though. I mean, because she was like this hyped up character,
Yeah.
and she is so badass.
She is so bad.
And she-
when the
she
fucking
can take
like
shots?
blaster bolt like just bounced off her,
Yeah, that-
she didn't even move.
I know,
it
she-
was so cool.
That
was
was
like,
yeah,
something-
that was like one of my favorite parts. And then like Finn beat her ass. Like
Pretty bad. Well, actually, not really. He kind of jumped up on her.
Yeah.
yeah, he did like that little Superman freaking hit on her, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I did like that fight.
It was a
though.
cheap
I'm
shot.
gonna say
It was a
that.
cheap shot.
But then like, if she comes back though, I mean, how are you gonna explain that she? Well, they didn't explain how she came back from the last one.
No.
But it's just like, she fell on a dying ship. I mean, like the
Well, so
ship
did
was just
Hux.
blowing up.
Actually, you know what? They
Hux
can't.
escaped.
Well, you know,
They can't bring
yeah.
her back because that it's happened twice now.
That's
Now,
what I'm
not only
saying.
did she get out from Starkiller Base, but now she's gotten out from the big like weird triangle ship that Snoke had.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, they're freaking oversized Star Destroyer. I forgot what it was called. It was like I don't remember what it was called, but it was
Something crazy.
yeah. but-
Wait, did they ever do that with Boba Fett or Jango Fett?
No, they only killed Boba Fett off once, and he was only in Empire Strikes Back. And no, he wasn't. Was he in New Hope? Because I think Darth Vader was like
He could've
recruiting
been.
bounty hunters.
He could have.
Maybe,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
little
And he was probably at Jabba's palace or something.
yeah, something like that. No, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. Like if they bring Phasma back, I don't think there will be as much hype because they'll just be like, oh, she's just gonna die again.
Well, I feel that
and
JJ.
she's probably gonna have like 5 seconds.
No, I feel like JJ Abrams will give her.
The Supremacy is the name of his ship.
Oh, the Supremacy. Okay.
But I feel like he'll honor whatever. Like
I don't know.
The thing is,
because she
it's all about the writer and director. Always goes back to it.
Yeah.
That guy.
I hope they don't. Though.
You know what?
JJ Abrams knew what he was doing.
I don't say this like knowing JJ, but like I don't think JJ would bring her back.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Really?
Although they could have done so much more with her.
They could have, man.
Like that was the first time where we had like a villain who wasn't a main villain but was still very interesting.
Yeah.
And she had a huge part in episode 7, and to only come back like barely to have like a little moment with Finn, and to almost kill him, and then get like her ass kicked.
Yeah, because I thought she was gonna kick Finn's ass, and then Rose was gonna come and save him.
Yeah,
But low key, I'm
can
kind of
see
happy it ended that way because I love Finn,
yeah.
and they kind of downplayed him in the last movie because in the books, apparently he was like at the top of his class, like. You know, with combat and all that, but then I forgot.
I mean, he holds his own pretty well against Phasma,
Yeah,
and you can tell he knows what he's doing.
yeah,
you know?
for
He
sure.
can turn on the lightsaber. I mean, come on.
I mean,
I
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I hope, man. But yeah, Phasma was she was a cool character, but rest in peace along with Carrie Fisher. Cause that character, her hype is dead, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I saw her, I'd be super hyped. Anyway.
I don't feel like anyone else would be, though. I mean,
Who, Phasma?
Yeah, if Phasma came back,
it's because
I'd be happy.
It's because what they've done to her, man.
It would be nice for her to come back
Yeah.
and to see more of all of that badassery play out more.
Mm-hmm.
But you've killed her twice now.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
But also,
No.
what if she's not working with anybody? She goes
Uh,
and makes her own thing. That could be
that's
awesome.
That's what I was thinking just now.
She's like, I'm gonna take out
Because I'm
everybody.
like, oh no.
Well, obviously she wouldn't, but like, I mean, she could be like, maybe.
Right.
I could see her as a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something I was thinking about just now. Okay, so what if she survives this,
Yeah.
they find her on like some planet, and she just kind of like laying low for a while, and they're like,
Right.
they're trying to recruit, resistant, people,
Yeah.
and they come across her, and what she like actually joins them, but she has her silver, outfit on, but she doesn't, but she has like a different like helmet, or it's not like a stormtrooper helmet. Okay, and if she had like a little bit more depth to her, like, and they like didn't make her like a main character, but
Right.
like kind of like, okay, did you guys watch Stranger Things
yeah.
too?
Mm-hmm.
What, like, kind of like if they, what was the kid's name? The kid that was the bully in the last one, but this one he totally redeemed himself.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, if they kind of did something like that, to where like, just
That's a whole different thing, though.
well, no, like because everyone hated that character.
No, everybody loved him.
Him in the last one.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like if
alarm on.
whenever I went to go watch it at like a Stranger Things party, everybody was like, "Man, I can't wait to see him and what's her name?
It might be
Natalie
cool.
Dreyer.
You know what? I think they could bring back Phasma. I personally don't think they should.
No,
But if
no.
they did, they'd have to be very, very careful,
Careful,
with what
yeah.
they did.
I think the only way they can bring her back is if they give her more character.
Plus, now
Yeah.
that you brought it up, I can't like get my mind off the fact that like if she did have affiliation with the rebellion, if they did kind of join forces, that'd be really cool, kind of a dynamic,
Yeah.
especially between the history between her and Finn. I think that'd be really cool.
What if they actually did set it up for that? That'd be pretty interesting.
would be.
That would, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't
And
know
maybe
right
he
now.
did, but yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so number 6 is it's Rey's parents.
The biggest letdown of maybe the entire movie.
For her too.
Well, okay, so my thing, I get the message that they're trying to send to
That
us.
it can be anybody and
Yeah.
it doesn't
It
have
doesn't
to come from a
matter. Yeah.
crazy lineage.
But when the whole movie revolves around this girl who wants to know who her parents are and where she came from, but she knew the whole time, and she's making like this big deal about it,
Yeah. She's
and it's just nothing, and it's just like what she expected.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's kind of like,
they just wanted to make her feel special.
yeah.
And like gave us nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's almost borderline trolling. I mean, for the last 2 years, I mean, really,
Yeah.
the last 2 years have been filled with, okay, I've proven who Rey's parents are, and here are like all of my billions
Yes.
of reasons why.
Yeah.
And if you look throughout the entire
Yep.
like run of the entire song, like it's
None of
insane.
that goes
Like
with
go
it,
on
yeah.
YouTube. There are hundreds
Oh,
and
yeah.
hundreds of videos about this stuff, and that's the payoff that we get. I feel like it was smart to do it that way, but it's not what everybody was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was not. And I wouldn't be surprised if J.J. Abrams, when he goes in episode 9 and he's like, you know what? It's not actually what you think.
Right.
You know?
Okay, I saw a theory, and I know that like this
Theories
movie-
are dead right now.
I know this episode 8 coming out proves that theories have no business being even created. But this one actually was kind of interesting. So basically, it centers around Rey goes into that weird like seaweed hole on the island,
Oh my god.
and you have that
That's another thing I
whole
forgot to write
that
down.
whole weird thing with the snapping and like the
Yeah.
whatever that is.
CGI, by the way.
Yeah. So then she goes to the mirror and she's got her hand on the mirror or the stone or whatever that's reflective. And then, the parents walk up and then it's just her. Right? It reveals that it's just her in the reflection. And then she believes, that's kind of where you realize, okay, it's just her. There is no. And then later on in the movie, Kylo Ren says, you know it to be true. You're nobody. Your parents were nobody. They were like junkies or whatever. And I feel like because they have this mind link, the theory is supposing that because of how strong their mind link is, that because Rey believed it, that's what Kylo saw. So that's what Kylo believes also.
See that, yeah.
Then when in a weird way, because that's what Kylo saw when he was in her mind, when he tells it to her, like she believes him.
I could see
And
that
so
happening,
maybe they both like we might still not know who her parents are,
Right.
but that they both are
confused.
somehow confused each other into believing that they were nobody.
Yeah.
Which
Well, that
I
could
could
make
kind of
sense,
see.
yeah.
That'd be interesting, but
That would.
I don't know how that would really work for episode 9, and that would be a hard pickle to get out of for JJ.
Like distorted her vision.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and
Like,
her being tempted by the dark side.
But he's
and blah,
like
blah, blah.
showing her what he wants her to see.
Or it could
trying to.
just not be him. She could probably just not realize, because like if you think about
That's probably
Yoda
just like
and
the
Luke,
main thing, yeah.
whenever he's like, "Oh, she already knows everything."
Right. Well, then again,
she had
Kylo
the
Ren's
books.
not that powerful. He said it himself. Like with that whole mind link thing, he said, you're not powerful enough to do this. Like,
Which he says that, but I'm like, I've never seen anyone else stop a freaking like laser force. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, who else
I
could
have
do
never-
that?
I'm
Yeah.
also mad he didn't do that in this movie.
I know.
That was a
Dude, that
tight
was
power.
dark.
Yeah.
We can just add that in whenever we get our copies.
Yeah.
Um,
you said something interesting that I was gonna branch out on.
I did?
Yeah. The whole little swamp, little seaweed, little thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of symbolism in this movie, and I understand Star Wars does that, but man, it was just so in your face, like.
Yeah. Especially in like that massive amount of exposition that Rey and Luke have about the island. And he was like, "What do you see?" So there's like life gives way to death, which brings forth new life, which blah blah blah. And then there's like different sides of the island. There's like the dark side of the island, and there's the light side of the island.
Yeah.
And you go between the two, and which I understand that the whole point is like the balance of the Force, and getting to the point where there is no Jedi or Sith. There is just the Force, which I love. I love that Luke admitted that to think that the Jedi were like all about the Force and that they owned the Force is folly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I
'Cause
thought was
there's a
brilliant
balance.
because finally we're getting to the point with like the whole Gray Jedi thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah, because Qui-Gon was a great Jedi apparently, and then Mace Windu, for sure, he was a great.
Oh,
Jedi.
yeah.
I think Count Dooku was, but
I think for a little bit.
There's
but because
There's a theory with Mace Windu is because he could harness all of that, like the Force and as well as the dark side.
Yeah.
That's why his lightsaber was purple. Yeah.
Mm.
Because like he couldn't like.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, red and blue. Like let's say it was red and blue, like purple.
Yeah, I could see, but wasn't he a master though? Don't masters usually have? Well, no. Actually,
Well, that's why he got to. That's why he could fight.
because I know the
Palpatine
crystals
so much.
mean something.
Yeah.
Like, each one means like a different thing. So I don't.
Well, they made those books not canon anymore, and I know that
Oh,
like
really?
yeah, like way in one of the books there was like this thing where he went on this crazy journey when before he was a Jedi Master to like go on this crazy thing, and he found the purple crystals, and then that's when he put it in his lightsaber. And that's how he got his purple lightsaber. But
Makes so much more sense though.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't
know.
know. But I do like that they're moving towards that whole Gray Jedi thing.
True.
Yeah.
And that he said, the Jedi. I love how they fooled everybody when in the trailers they said, it's time for the Jedi to end. Which, in a way, he's right, but not in the way that everyone was thinking.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one actually, real quick, because I've been waiting for this one.
Snoke's death.
Yes. Okay, so my biggest problem about Snoke's freaking death. How are you you're gonna hype up this character? You're gonna hype him up so much.
We still know nothing about it.
Exactly, and
All we know is he comes from the Outer Rim.
Yes, and I've been so excited for this movie because that's the number one thing I wanted to know. I'm like, who is Snoke? And we found out that he's a dead person. he dies like right in the freaking like because he's so cool, man. Like he is, and he's freaking powerful with the Force. Like you can tell. Like that part where he like shocks.
Is he so powerful because he couldn't realize that Kylo?
He was
Ren,
that was his weakness, I think.
I think it was that he was flustered. Like how you're like, man, this is so good. It's like awesome, but then like you have that gray area where you're like, I'm actually not seeing.
It's almost
being
like
arrogant.
It's almost like ignorance is bliss. So
Exactly.
it's like
Yes.
when Kylo is like looking like he's getting ready to like stab the shit out of Rey. He has that huge rant before that scene where he's about to stab her, where he's like, I know everything. I linked your minds. I did all of this. All of this was because of me. I planned all of this. This is all my doing.
Yeah.
And that was his downfall. Yeah. So I get that, but I just, what a waste of a character.
Yeah, because like if this dude could use the Force like when he wasn't even on the ship, like he was like,
oh, he fucked up General Hux.
Yeah,
His
he's
ship
like spinning him around.
His ship wasn't even there. Like what the heck?
And then freaking, oh man, he was just a wasted character, the most wasted character.
Yeah.
The most wasted character.
Yeah.
And he seems so cool, and I really wanted more of him. Hopefully they come up with books, saying like where he came from.
They kind of made him out to be even more powerful than like Darth Sidious from the original, from the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, because to this day I still stand by the theory that he was Darth Plagueis. Like, I really want to stand by that. And
I would have loved if that was true.
Yeah, because that's a character they kind of like hyped him up in Episode 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
but it would have made sense too, with the whole story and all that. Because he looks like he's been.
But maybe
like
that's
he was
a good
dead.
thing that we haven't heard about Plagueis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe that's actually the next person that we see that takes over.
Man, I don't even know about that.
The only thing good that came out of them killing Snoke in the way that they did, which was awful, but the only good thing that came out of it was we finally get that transition for Kylo being the main bad guy, which I kind of like the fact that it's not like, with the bad guy throughout all of the series has been Darth Sidious. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Darth Sidious has been like this set bad guy. He's always been completely evil. He's always had this master plan that works like without a hitch. Yeah. Basically, and I like the fact that we have a bad guy who can't decide whether or not he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely ultra evil, but he still is so conflicted and is unsure of himself.
And I think that was another theme in this movie was confliction.
Well, Rey was the same way.
Rey was conflicted. Kylo was conflicted. Finn, at certain parts where he was really conflicted.
Mm-hmm. Even Luke was conflicted.
Yeah, Luke was conflicted. Poe wasn't really so conflicted.
Kind of.
But I would say...
He was conflicted in the action of, hey, I can't actually go on every action that I want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that's confliction. I would just say he's kind of matured in a way. He kind of understands like the lesson that Leia and Admiral Holdo were trying to teach him in the first place.
Yeah.
About like being a good leader, because he's got to take up more of a leadership position in Episode 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after they killed Snoke, which that was kind of I don't understand how we saw Snoke being all this freaking powerful.
Also, just at a peripheral, you can't see the lightsaber
turning.
Yeah.
It's just like,
come on, man.
And
come on, man.
Well, but no, he closes his eyes though, and he's like, "Yes, I can see." And like,
also, how did none of those guards see the lightsaber turning either?
I know.
Yo, they were.
And why did they wait so long to attack everybody?
They were so tired because they were there that long.
Yeah, they're like asleep in their masks.
They're like, "Oh, we gotta go." Okay.
And then they hear like a, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah. Actually, now that you bring that up, it makes no sense,
right?
Because earlier in the movie, like Snoke is like giving the works to Kylo Ren, and all Kylo Ren does is stand up, and they're all like, "What the fuck?" Like, and they're ready to
stand.
No, they get ready to like knock his ass out.
Stand up one more time,
and then he like force lightnings his ass, and then later on,
he like bounces off the ground.
That was tight, but
it was.
And then later on, like you have the whole room is like black and red. There's not a lot of color. And you have like this shiny ass silver thing, like that's just like fucking flickering and like turning toward. You don't see that, and then it goes through them, and they don't do anything. And they let it get all the way to Rey's hand and let her stand up, and they get to look in each other's eyes for a second.
Well, they were really
like fuck.
Do we attack? He's dead. He can't tell us. I don't.
It's like we don't have a leader anymore. But
it makes no sense.
But we all have to agree
that was the
best fight scene
so good
ever.
I'm so excited about that.
It was great. It was freaking and the color. And that's another thing I really liked about the movie was the colors. The colors were just on point.
Yeah,
visually it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but that fight though, man.
Oh my god, that's what I've been waiting for that ever since I've seen the Emperor's stuff. Palpatine's.
Yeah, because there was a theory online that I saw that those guys were actually
the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense though.
No,
because he wouldn't be so eager to kill all of them.
Right, and then also why weren't they using actual lightsabers or using the Force?
True.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so great fight scene. It looked like awesome. It was like a Tarantino fight scene, but like non-bloody.
With the way that they did things, and then especially I got a lot of Tarantino vibes whenever she threw the lightsaber and then he put it through his face like that.
Yes.
That was a very Tarantino
You've never seen
thing.
anything like that. Like, oh,
I know, it's insane.
What if Quentin Tarantino made a Star Wars movie? Would you guys watch that?
I think.
Did you listen to the last Kevin Smith podcast, the most recent one?
No, I haven't.
He talks about how Tarantino was, I think, interested in making a Star Trek. Actually.
Oh, he is. Because they said I think they said they signed him on for one of them.
I highly doubt the people at Disney and Lucasfilm would let him do Star Wars.
No. I mean, if I was in charge of Disney, I would just want to see.
They let
I would
this
see a
dude
Boba
do
Fett movie
Oh.
with with him directing it. Because I think Robert Rodriguez was originally going to direct the Boba Fett one.
That would have been awesome.
But if Quentin Tarantino had his hands on that,
Yeah.
it's done, man.
Samuel L. Jackson would be back.
But my thing though is I'd be kind of scared if he made one because he has his own style.
It would just be a Western.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like a little space Western, but he has his own style. And I think he'd do the same thing Rian Johnson did and kind of disregard the fans and just make his own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would happen. But man, if he were to do like a Boba Fett film or like an anthology film or Orlando, what would be an Orlando film?
Dude.
And that'd be freaking funny. I'd watch that for sure.
I'm glad we're gonna see young Lando and young Han in the Han Solo movie.
Donald Glover.
I'm still not.
So excited.
I'm not excited about the guy they casted for Han, but
I don't even know who that guy is.
Who?
All I know is that he's got like a very square face.
yeah, he does.
Oh, really?
Looks nothing like wow, his name escapes me. Harrison Ford.
Yeah. There was a okay, so there's this guy. He does all these impressions on YouTube, and he was famous for his Han Solo one. This guy looks like Harrison Ford in the face, and he can do the best Han impression. But I can understand why they didn't pick him because he's not an actual.
Did he go out for the
celebrity.
part?
I don't know if he did. I mean, I feel like if he actually did, he probably would have had a good chance.
Yeah.
But probably in the end, they probably.
I could see it.
Yeah, you're looking
Oh,
at-
sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture.
Oh.
That second one. I
Alden
can see it in the face.
Aaron Reich?
Yeah,
As I guess as a young Han, I could see.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Just in that second picture though, like the first one, I'm like,
yeah,
It's the jaw,
yeah.
essentially.
Oh man, I hope is Chewie gonna be in this?
Well,
If it's young Han Solo, then he has to be in it.
Oh yeah.
Chewie better be like.
When is this movie supposed to come out?
Swipe back.
It should be like this. No, next. I don't know. It's next year.
May
for sure.
25th.
What?
Oh,
That's-
really?
That's soon.
That's
Dude.
very
I
soon.
didn't even know they started filming.
We will have another podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Solo, a Star Wars story, or simply Solo, is an upcoming American space western film centered around Han Solo,
Space Western.
directed by Quentin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's that guy. Donald Glover is Lando.
Yes.
Woody Harrelson's a dude named Beckett. That's kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot Woody Harrelson's in it. I love Woody Harrelson.
He's a great actor.
He is.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were we talking about before all this?
So Snoke's dead.
Yeah, Snoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, because to me that was the biggest slap in the face for me.
Yeah.
Because I was so interested in Snoke, and I think that's what I would always watch theories on because he was just like this almighty Sith Lord that we had no idea about.
Yeah.
And
we never got any of that either.
probably never will,
Yeah,
to be honest. And that's really sad. That's honestly really sad.
I also would have really liked to see. I don't know if you guys remember in episode 7 there was a scene where things are kind of starting to go to shit for the first order, and then he goes to the big hologram room where Snoke is,
Yeah.
and Snoke says,
Which he didn't even look like a hologram. That
I
was-
know.
Yeah.
But then Snoke says come back here so we can complete your training. I would have really liked to see the training that they did.
That's another thing. Luke didn't even train Rey. Honestly.
I understand that because he was kind of a decrepit old man.
Yeah.
But also that's oh my god. Speaking of which, okay, so they were talking about we have all these cuts from episode 8 that make the movie seem more like a jumbled mess. I really want to see that, but you know how Luke says that there are 3 lessons? We don't get that 3rd lesson.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think
What?
that was more of
A talking one.
I think the 3rd lesson's more of can't even
Existential. type thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think it's something like you'll see it. You're like,
right.
Okay.
It's
But okay, so they talked about the deleted scenes for the movie that are going to come out when the DVD comes out, for episode 8, and there's a ton of them because a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot more to Luke and Rey training than what we saw in the movie.
yeah.
And I really would have liked to see like Luke and Rey training, and then like at some point see Snoke and Kylo training. That would have been a really cool.
Like a little training montage. That'd be like Rocky.
while Eye of the Tiger is playing.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, but my thing though is like, it didn't seem like he trained her at all because like, he may have showed her stuff.
He taught her more about the Force, but I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he necessarily trained her at all.
Yeah. No.
Because that's the whole reason why she went over there. And plus, like, she's like wielding this lightsaber like a pro, but when she fought Kylo in The Force Awakens, she was like having trouble with it.
Well,
like,
but also she's probably been practicing by herself. Like, I mean, you know what I mean?
but you have to realize this takes like this movie takes place like an hour after
I know. Well, yeah, that's true.
Force Awakens.
And then on top of that, like you saw her training with her staff, which
Right.
in episode 9, I guarantee you she makes a lightsaber, and that lightsaber is going to be a kind of staff thing. But like she was
Like a
training
Darth
with.
Maul, like double snap.
I don't know,
That'd
but
be
I mean, she
interesting.
seems to like that staff, so it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. But she's training with that staff, and then like she kind of looks over at the lightsaber, and then it's like, maybe I guess I could.
Yeah.
And then she's like slicing shit and
Yeah.
like being perfect.
Well, and that's why I think she has already trained herself. Like, you know what I mean?
I could see it because
Because also
when
she had
was,
so much time by herself because Luke was like, nah.
well, no, I think that goes back to Force Awakens because I remember in the beginning she beat up these one dudes with her little staff.
Yeah.
At the beginning where she meets Finn.
And actually, she did a great job doing that.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Like, she kicked their asses pretty bad.
And there was a theory that me and my uncle were kind of watching for a while. Okay, so Darth Plagueis, he was known for he was a really tall dude, really tall, like Snoke.
Yeah.
And he had like this lightsaber that was like really long. It was like, and we thought that Rey, her staff, was his hilt for his lightsaber. That's what we were thinking for like the longest. But sadly, no more Snoke.
That would have been crazy.
That'd been interesting.
Yeah, because he didn't even have a lightsaber in Last Jedi, did I? Did he?
No,
Sad
just
as
got
it did
his
I.
face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, we didn't even... And actually, going off of the whole, like, Jedi thing, we actually didn't get a lot of, like, Jedi doing anything in the film.
Well,
Yeah.
There's that small scene where Luke, like, uses the Force to get that little, like, weather, lightning rod, and they have, like, a little, like, sword fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I was.
But,
How did he get bested on that?
Also, where's his sword? And also, the Matrix thing? When
Yeah,
he
what-
fell? Come on.
Okay, that's another question. Where was
Yeah.
his lightsaber?
Well, okay, what I'm thinking
if
is...
he threw away the blue one, no way he didn't get rid of his green one.
Well, the green one's Anakin's. Like, I mean, it's not yours.
The green one?
No, the blue one. Did I say the green one? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My bad. But, like, I mean...
What?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. About how he wouldn't get rid of it.
Right. Well, like, so once Kylo Ren, like, fucked up all of this stuff, and then that kind of, like, the new Jedi Order thing, like, went to shit. Obviously, like, which I thought was kind of an interesting way to start the movie, him just, like, phew. But, if he threw away that, there's no way he didn't get rid of his green one.
Okay.
I'm
No
thinking
way.
it's in
My-
that not TIE Fighter, but
His
his
X-Wing?
X-Wing. Yeah.
Well, my thing. Yeah, because I mean,
I thought he was going to get in that X-Wing and fly
I know,
out of there.
I did too,
I was really
I
hoping.
know.
Yeah.
I know that was gonna like rise it from the freaking.
That would have
ocean.
been such because like they had the whole throwback
Oh,
to
that'd be a
like
throwback to Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
well, just like the Force isn't all about lifting rocks. Like when he
Yeah.
was upside down with Yoda and he had to like lift all those rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him like put on like that like some nice like Jedi like robes and shit, like really badass.
Been awesome.
Lift his X-wing out and then just get out of there.
Yeah, because I was. Oh well, I don't think he could have because he didn't have an R2 unit to.
That's true.
No. But no, okay, but you have to realize though. I mean, he's cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he cut himself off from like all his Jedi
He
ways.
clearly
and all
put
that.
the X-wing
So-
there because he was like not
Yeah.
in planning on leaving.
So he obviously won't have his lightsaber with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you'd think, like, okay,
I mean,
if I got a knife that I carry around all the time,
but
which
like,
I do.
But like you killed someone with it, and then you're like, oh well, I don't know.
I'm still
if
gonna carry it.
Okay,
I don't care.
well.
That's just me.
Okay.
It's just me. But.
I really wish so in that end battle scene when they're on that salt planet, which was really cool.
That was
amazing.
that was a great.
When
scene.
the first time you guys were watching it, did you guys notice that when Kylo Ren would take steps, it would reveal the red, and when Luke took steps, it wouldn't do that because he was a projection?
No.
Did not notice that.
Because after watching the movie about 1 billion times, I was like picking up on stuff like that, and it was very interesting. And plus, like Kylo Ren's kind of an idiot. Like he should have seen that. Okay, obviously they just broke apart that lightsaber and blew up everything.
That's what my.
And then
thing
Luke
was,
came back with the blue lightsaber, and
yeah.
like Kylo Ren was too stupid to notice.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I was a little confused on that.
He should have came back with the green one. I would have liked the green one better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought they was gonna come back with that. I don't know if they're trying to like make it like symbolic or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
Well, I think that was to give the audience be like, hey, the second time around, because I caught it the second time around, not the first.
Because I was like, did he give Rey a fake or something? Like I wasn't.
Oh yeah,
like I wasn't even.
Too, yeah.
I wasn't even thinking.
I loved his like Matrix like weird spinny move.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I was like, that's something Yoda would have done.
you are an agile old man.
Yeah. Because man, speaking of Yoda, like going back to the whole scene with those two, I 100% thought that Yoda would come. Okay, I saw him come up, and then I'm like, oh my
Ben.
god, Obi-Wan is gonna
Yes,
come back.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then I'm like, but I'm still fine with Yoda though.
Yeah.
That was such a good.
it literally took me back to the first time I saw Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah.
When he gets there and they make Yoda out to be like that crazy old man, he hits him on the head
Yep.
with his cane and stuff.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I kind of was mad about it though.
What?
Not because of Yoda being there, but because going back, I want to go back to whenever they're in the casino, how all of that was CGI'd, and yet Yoda was like a puppet.
I like that.
I love that he was a puppet. I just wish that all of it would have sticked on one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A time.
I think
times have changed.
I digress.
Though.
Yeah, and plus, like, they made
I
Yoda a
like that
puppet
too.
strictly because of the nostalgia that is... Because, like, with episode... Chronologically, within the Star Wars universe, in episode 6, 4, 5, and 6, he was always a puppet. Sure. And so then, keeping with that, if you continue after that, he should also be a puppet.
That like, literally him being a puppet, that was the thing that made it feel like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It felt authentic.
Very nostalgic.
And then also, it's Frank Oz coming back.
I didn't even know he was still alive, just saying.
Oh, really?
He's an old dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive?
Yeah. That was Frank Oz, the original dude who did it.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's even in the credits.
Holy-
It said,
I didn't stay through the credits. I was irritated.
yeah. But yeah, man, that part was just so great. And yeah, it's really brought me back. I forgot I was going to go with that, to be honest.
That's really awesome, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I love when movies do like a mixture of like CGI
And they did that with the Porgs a lot, too. Some of the Porgs were puppets and some were CGI.
Yeah. Because that's because it's easy for them to do CGI, but it takes more time to, do the puppets and all that. And that right there, that's, you can really tell when someone's like putting a lot of heart into their film.
Oh, whenever they have the
When they're
puppets, or rather
like
than...
not even puppets, just like, I can't think
Just
of
like
the word. Not
actual physical things.
Yeah, visual effects. I can't even freaking think of it right now. But yeah, you could, because that takes a whole lot more time.
Yeah.
CGI, you can just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite scene. So yeah. Okay. So let's see. What should we talk about next?
We were talking about Snoke.
Yeah. I was trying to see some
We
of the
talked
other
about
stuff
Rey's
they wrote
parents, too,
down.
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the tree?
Yeah, we talked about the tree.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so our theories for episode 9. Oh, actually, okay, so you had something written down with Luke and Poe. Luke and Poe's parents?
Yeah. So, and that has to do with the tree. I didn't think that we went over it. So what I wrote was, I was doing some research on it because I was like, there has to be another tree.
Another forest tree?
Another forest tree. Because in the Clone Wars, because I watch it with Milan all the time.
I actually really like the show. Yeah,
in the Jedi Temple,
there's that tree.
They had all those trees.
Yeah.
And so then I started researching it, and whenever the Empire takes over the Jedi Temple, they put them in this certain area. I can't remember specifically, but Luke gets to it, right? and then he takes two of like
That happens
shards.
in the comic books too.
Yeah, in the comic. Yeah,
Are you
that's
talking
what I'm
about when he
about.
finds
Yeah.
all the holograms with all the
I think so.
Jedi
Yes.
Masters?
What are those
Yeah.
called?
The
holocrons?
Yeah,
Hall
holograms.
of Fame?
called?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
yeah, because that's how he
Uh,
becomes a master and like,
yeah.
is so strong.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, then Poe's parents get a shard as well somehow. I
Poe.
can't remember specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
Poe Dameron's parents?
Yeah, Poe Dameron's.
And this is in the comic books.
In the comic books, yeah.
Wow.
And so what happens is that they plant it in Yavin 4. That's why I wrote Yavin 4 on here. And so the real question, then that brings up the question, is does Poe have some type of
Is
force?
he force sensitive?
Yeah.
Well,
because he was around it so much. As a kid,
I feel like if he
assume.
was, we would have seen it by now.
Well,
he's
But
kind of he's a grown
super-
man.
I know, but he's like already a super talented
Okay.
maybe.
jet fighter.
Here's something we should all think about.
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
so let's go back to Force Awakens. I believe when you're force sensitive, you don't have to be like, picking
Yeah.
rocks up and shit.
Right.
I think the force is just with you.
Yeah.
You know, you can probably do the rocks and shit and do all that crazy stuff,
If
but
you
it's
try,
just.
yeah.
But when you're force sensitive, it just means the force is just with you.
Yeah.
And going to Finn, like he went through all that crazy stuff. Like he left Republic, and the Force. It just felt like it just like guided him to right, and it just guided him to like something bigger. You know,
I still am holding out for Finn being force sensitive. I
yeah,
really
I-
wanted him so desperately to be a
interesting.
Jedi.
yeah, but I
so
think,
badly.
and I think with Poe as well,
Yeah.
like because they were all led, to the same
Think about Rogue
same
One.
place.
I can't remember the guy, but he's blind.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one with the force. The
He-
force.
yeah,
Force-
yeah.
And he keeps saying that, and you're like,
The
okay,
Force.
yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Can't even see.
He's badass.
But
so.
but
Donnie
he,
Yen, that's
you
his-
can
that's
tell
his
that
actor.
he
Definitely
has at
force
least something.
sensitive.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he didn't wield a lightsaber at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out.
No.
Well, that's
no.
an interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so weird because it seems like Disney and Lucasfilm can't really decide whether they want to keep things canon or not canon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So and they took it seems like they took a lot from hinting at Grey Jedi and hinting about all these things in the past and kind of Darth Plagueis-y things. Like it seems like they're pulling bits and pieces from the
Right.
quote unquote non-canon now, since Kathleen Kennedy
Yeah.
made all that stuff non-canon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I would really like for that to be true. I think that's
It would
interesting.
be so.
Yeah,
Cool.
it would. But yeah, it's just like the Force just kind of guides you to places. So I mean, Poe could be Force sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, like just let him on this journey, see where he is now, and he survived all that shit too. Just crazy.
that's true.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's another way how the Force works as well. I'm talking about it like it's like a real thing,
Right.
Yeah.
which in a sense it is. Spiritually
Right.
speaking.
There
Not
are
saying I
people.
could like lift up freaking.
There are people who do believe in the Force.
Yeah.
Like there are people who actually treat the Force from Star Wars as a religion.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Isn't it called like
Jet-
Jedi something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about though for sure.
But people, I can't remember where I read that on an article online, but I know that people actually do
Are they called
try to.
Scientologists, right?
Whoa, taking jabs.
We're all playing games here. That's all.
But
Ethan.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets mad.
I know, but yeah, people actually do worship that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past that.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go over. Okay, so what are some theories that we have for episode 9? Because at the end we see the kids are force sensitive. Okay, but before all that, the resistant calls for help, but they're like, no one's answering, because they don't believe in us anymore.
Yeah. Well, now
But
that
then-
the legend of Luke Skywalker is kind of I think that little scene with the kids set up perfectly. Like the legend is starting to spread of, Luke Skywalker like walking out.
Yeah.
And that is starting to kind of kickstart the fire that will lead the whatever you want to go over that whole thing we said about a billion times.
And for sure, there is gonna be a time jump.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be.
There has to be.
Okay, so I don't know if I think I mentioned it. I could be crazy, but there has to be one. There has to be.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to get rid of Leia properly.
Exactly.
You can't. You shouldn't CG her.
No.
And if it's kind of like with Rocky, they fast forward in time, and then with Adrian,
she's already dead, and he goes to
Yeah.
visit her grave. It should be kind of like that. You get like they shouldn't go past a decade, but they should definitely have like a couple years where they jump. Leia's gone. Maybe Admiral Holdo's dead, but Poe comes into more of a commanding leadership, and Rey goes on more of a journey with the Force. She becomes more powerful.
Yeah,
seeks out more Force-sensitive kids, something like that.
Yavin 4 is where it got blown up, right? In 8?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Wait, 8?
Yeah.
Nothing got blown up in 8.
No.
At the very beginning?
No, nothing. That's 7. You talking about 7?
No, 8.
No, not 8.
Oh no! But okay, but at the beginning, he just destroyed their base. He didn't blow up the planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that Yavin 4 though?
I don't think so.
No.
Is it?
No.
They should go back to Yavin 4.
You remember you know what that is?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard of the planet. I just don't know what it looks like.
Yavin 4 was like more.
I've been on it on Battlefront, but
I know,
like...
but like that was like the place to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in the outer rim. I think. I could be wrong. I don't remember.
They're just probably gonna make up some planets.
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
one.
Possibly.
Which I mean, I'm fine with.
Like
as long as I don't get another casino one.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm good with that.
Bring back Jar Jar.
I
I don't know.
I didn't have a problem with them.
I mean,
'Cause I grew
you're
up
a
with
movie you're a movie guy. Like what do you think, especially in regards to this weird kind of like relationship that's between Rey and Kylo?
Okay, I like that. I like how right now they're the balance of the Force, and even though they're really conflicted, I feel like Rey's more level-headed now, though. Kylo, he's still...
I think it's good that they're conflicted though. Like, I feel like because you shouldn't be a Jedi or a Sith. You should just be a Force user.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like they're kind of, especially Rey is starting to get more of a point where she understands that. But I don't know.
But I feel like there has to be that balance, though. That's the thing.
Does there though? Like I mean.
Yeah, it's like yin and
Not using
yin
the
and
Force
yang.
for like a good or a bad, you know. And actually, that's set up perfectly because what were those necklaces?
What
a yin and a
necklaces?
yang.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Got it. Connections.
Yeah, there you go.
Connections.
I could see that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because I like that whole aspect of how they're like the balance now, and you know, this is their time to rise up, and they have to kind of like rebuild the Jedi and the Sith in a sense, and that'd be pretty cool to see. I would like to see Rey older, probably like training some Padawan or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Padawans.
I mean, she
like,
took all those texts, the Jedi texts. So.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
That's what Finn opens.
When
at
Finn
the
goes
very
to get that blanket to put on Rose, he opens a drawer and then you see all the books there. And
Does
then
he
grabs
pick
the
up a
blanket.
book?
No,
Oh,
no.
damn.
Well,
That would've
no.
been
The
freaking
blanket
awesome.
is right next to the books, but he opens the drawer and you see all the books and he kind of like looks for the blanket for a second. It goes by like in a second.
Ooh.
But that's the whole reason why Yoda's like, she already knows everything.
Yeah,
it's
that-
because it was a mind trick.
Yeah.
To him, and then he gets rid of the tree to just be like, hey, this is actually real.
Yeah.
Essentially. So
Yoda was messing with Luke and telling him to like let go. It's not in his hands anymore. But when he said, I can't remember. I just saw the movie. I should be able to quote it. But he was like, Rey doesn't need to know anything that she doesn't already possess.
Exactly.
Like, and then later on you see those books, so she has everything she needs.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Leia said at the end of the movie. But yeah, I would love to see that. But they definitely just need a time jump
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And where are the Knights of Ren? like,
I
are they
really want
gonna
to see that.
Are they
That
gonna
was
come
a
back? Or is he gonna make a new Knights of Ren?
I don't know.
no, because I don't think that they're dead.
Well,
I think
we don't know what.
I think
That's
everybody
true.
really wanted to see the expansion of that Force vision. That I mean, we saw Luke and the destruction of the Jedi Temple, which we
I think
got.
there was an expansion of that.
Yeah,
To be
there-
honest,
yeah.
I
That might
honestly
be the
think
thing
so.
that we were talking about earlier. The thing that you were talking about, how the person saw while they were filming
Yeah.
that fight with
Yeah,
Luke
yeah, yeah.
and them. I think that might be that.
I
could
mean,
be.
flashback or a part that was cut out of Episode 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I still would have loved to see more of that because we
Exactly.
a lot like what you said at the beginning of the podcast. Like it's like he did nothing of what J.J. Abrams really set up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the exception of expanding on the characters, that's basically all he took.
But
Yeah.
I will admit though, Luke did remind me a lot of. I don't know if you guys read Dark Knight Returns, but
No.
you haven't.
Like the
it's-
comic book?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you've
Are
read
you
it?
kidding? Frank Miller, yeah.
Oh god, I love Frank Miller. Oh my gosh. But
the like disgruntled old man that Bruce Wayne was.
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
Shut off.
And then-
Well, yeah, okay, so in that, like Bruce Wayne, he's been Batman forever and he's retired.
Right.
He doesn't.
No,
do it
I've seen
anymore.
that. Yeah.
But he's kind of like a. In the comic book, it actually sets up a little bit better because he's kind of like he's done being Batman. He doesn't want to be Batman. He
He doesn't even want to be alive.
Yeah, like he's
he's-
done. Like he's
yeah.
kind of like what Luke said. Like I came to this island to die. Like why do you think I came here? I didn't want to be found.
Is that where he's fat?
He's old. What?
Bruce
like
Wayne?
yeah.
He's kind of like an old kind of like
he's
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just an old man.
Yeah.
Well, because Bruce Wayne, like before all that, before he was old, he's like freaking 6 foot something. He's
Yeah.
like 350
Yeah.
pounds of muscle. Like,
Yeah.
that dude's
Right.
Yeah, so of course, if you get older, you're just gonna like buff up, like
Right. No, but I remember seeing the movie or whatever. They made a movie.
The movie's good, but it doesn't
Yeah.
do it justice though.
Yeah,
Okay.
they tried to put together 2 different stories from 2 totally different comic books.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the death of Superman and then the Dark Knight Returns.
Are you talking about Batman versus Superman?
Yeah,
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
Me?
Wait, I'm confusing with everyone. I'm talking about the Dark Knight Returns. You're talking about Batman versus Superman. What are you talking
I
about?
wasn't talking about
the Dark Knight Returns, the comic book.
Yeah.
They tried to take some of that story
And put
and
it
put that
into-
into
Where did
Batman.
BVS come from? All this?
Because
I'm so confused.
in the comic book for the Dark Knight Returns, towards the end of the comic book, there is a fight that Batman and Superman have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's they took that small part, made into a movie, and made the rest of the story for the Dark Knight Returns very small. But
No, that shouldn't even touch Dark Knight Returns.
I know it was a great thing.
I have to show you guys. This is like off topic, but I have a Batman and Spider-Man comic that I have to show.
Oh,
to
was
you.
it the
Did I show it
classic?
to
The
you?
classic ones were Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
They were.
The Marvel
It is
DC
so
crossover
ridiculous.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's so ridiculous, but it's amazing.
That's cool. This is actually really cool, actually.
What
Okay,
were
but
you
yeah.
talking
Okay,
Star
so
Wars.
like, because Luke, he's like,
There are definitely parallels between
Yeah.
the 2 stories, for sure.
and yeah, fuck, I can't even.
Well,
I
we
can't
were-
remember.
well,
I was
like
going
with
with
Bruce
that.
Wayne being an old man and not wanting anything to do with that, and then
Yeah.
Luke being an old man and like kind of a hermit and
Yeah,
not wanting.
but it
anything to
calls
do
him
with
back though, cause remember in the Dark Knight Returns, the Bat just comes through the window.
Right.
And he's like, yes, he's like, I
kinda
need
like
you
re-
I need you
rekindles-
right now,
right,
And then Ray was kind of like that Bat for Luke,
Yeah.
and she kind of just showed him, there was hope, and all that. So I could see some parallels with that, and that's I did like that about Luke.
I still would have liked him to actually come back. Like even if they would have had him do the fade out and become one with the Force, I would have liked him to actually physically be there.
You know what kind of fucked me up just now, just thinking about it? How come when Kylo tried to try to kill him, and it went right through him because he was like the Force Phantom? How was he able to kiss freaking Leia?
Plot holes. That's
Like,
Like-
Well, I know that like I think this is something they set up in the comic books actually, but like the Force projection or Force Phantom, whatever you want to call it, same thing. They can actually interact with things on a physical level, but they can also be very ghost-like if they choose to.
that can
be.
make sense
Ow.
because like he gives her the dice
And then they like
disappear once
they disappear.
Kylo Ren gets it.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it would have meant more to me as a super fan if
He would have.
he would have been there in person,
Yeah.
because then we could have had like a real, actual touching moment between him and Leia as brother and sister one last time.
because it screws it.
You
Like
know?
it's like, oh, he was all the way over there.
And then I mean, it was kind of cool the way all the blasters went, and then he was kind of like, that was a cool moment, like a very badass moment. But again, it
that
would
was really cool. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
but even then, like if he would have come back in person, I would have liked if they all shot at him for him to like kind of stop them all in midair.
What if
Yeah.
he just freaking he did this?
'Cause, like,
thing
Kylo
where he
Ren
just,
must
made
have-
them all collapse.
But like, okay, so like Kylo Ren must have learned that like stopping the bolt, the blaster bolt from somewhere,
Right.
Yeah.
and it had to have been Luke, because like Kylo Ren became a thing way later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have been awesome to see Luke stop all those and kind of like turn them into nothing, and then him be like,
What's
Yeah.
up? Yeah,
you know,
He's
come
like,
on.
Is that all you got?
or
Yeah.
even shoot it back. That would have been, and then that would actually probably. Even
I
out
thought he
the
was
playing
gonna. I
field.
thought he was just gonna just fuck up all the freaking AT-ATs or.
I would have
whatever.
loved,
ATs,
yeah, if he would have
Imperial
just like
Walkers.
like crushed all of them and like,
Yeah.
oh, dude. And then it would have. I think it would have meant more if he came back, did all that, and then he fights Kylo Ren.
Does the whole Obi-Wan
Does the whole
thing?
does the whole Obi-Wan thing? Says, "See you around, kid."
Because he even quoted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then or had like a version of that quote.
Yeah.
And then I would have
liked for him and Rey to be able to see each other one last time, and then he does the Obi-Wan.
I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't be one with the Force at the end, though.
I wanted him to make it into Episode 9.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he still technically is, but like, still, I wanted to physically
be there.
Yeah, and him just start helping out and maybe helping Rey.
Speaking of physically needing to be there, Lando also needs to be in Episode 9. And if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be really upset.
Yeah, he is.
Billy
I
D.
can imagine, like,
Bring back Billy D.
I can imagine like a whole subplot of him just like, all right, where's my Falcon? And he like, tries to like take it back and all that.
He wears Han's clothes again, like in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, but that'd be cool. Or even Boba Fett, like.
Dude.
Yeah.
You saw what I wrote.
Yeah. I think that's more fan service right there, just Boba Fett coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't care too much.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people didn't like the movie, was because this movie did not give you a lot of fan service. And one thing people love about Star Wars is the fan service. Yeah. And so because of that, I don't think people dug it.
Yeah, and I guess I can understand the filmmaker's point of view, because I mean, it's just like, you can't always give fan service. I mean, if that's
but he didn't give any though. That's the thing.
He gave you Star Wars. And like, I guess for him that was like the best.
Like,
okay, but I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see the opening crawl, I like kind of tear up, man.
You get excited.
Yeah, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
I remember when I'm not gonna lie, when Force Awakens came out and I saw the freaking opening crawl.
I cried.
Yep.
I bawled. Like, literally, I didn't like. I was like,
so 2 years ago when Force Awakens came out, I got my tickets to the Warren opening night.
Same.
And and my girlfriend at the time, like, we had like the matching shirts, it was the whole thing. And then I saw that, and like, I went home after the movie and I was like, I was like so overwhelmed because I had been waiting and waiting. I told you, like, I had the VHS tapes of the original trilogy, and I watched them like religiously as a kid. And I went to see Episode 2 in theaters. I went to see Episode 3 in theaters. I was probably too young to go see Episode 1 because that was like in '99 or 2000.
No, I saw it.
In theaters?
Yeah. It came out in 2003.
No, it came out in 1999.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Episode 1 did, for sure.
1999.
Yeah, it just looks like it was from 2000.
I know, right?
Very ahead of its
robots.
But I remember that, and it was so overwhelming with nostalgia that it was just insane.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's my thing with every Star Wars movie. Because the reason why Star Wars has like a really like important place in my heart is because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a filmmaker. Yeah. Because like, since I was a kid, I'm like, one of my main goals in life is to direct a Star Wars film.
That's one of the reasons why I got into music.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I got into music. Ever since, especially now that I always loved movie scores and stuff.
Oh, me too.
But ever since I switched over to playing the trumpet, like, my goal for being a professional trumpet player is to play for movies and TV. Yeah. And my goal is to play for a Star Wars movie. Yeah, that'd be so dope. Which is like, and
get to meet freaking what's his
John
name?
Williams.
John Williams.
And just to be a part of that whole alone is like, it's a marvel in itself. So yeah.
It'd be hard for you though, because you'd be crying, because you'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Like, I'd be losing my mind the whole time.
John Williams.
Yeah, for real. They'd be like, "Hey, can the guy back there from the drum stop crying? We're trying to record for the movie."
It's like, I'm sorry, I just get a little emotional.
I just love you, John Williams.
Can you sign my trumpet, please?
No, yeah, for real.
But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's gonna be kind of embarrassing. I have some Star Wars scripts just written up, so I'll be ready when the time comes. Yeah. I have oh my god, no, I'm not gonna get into
and here's the thing, man, the possibilities are endless now because, I mean, even though it's kind of a good and a bad thing that Disney owns everything in the world now, but hopefully he won't make up the same mistakes he did with Episode 8, but Rian Johnson has a whole new trilogy coming. Yeah. So even after Episode 9, we have 3 more episodes of, we don't know where it's going to be placed, but
hopefully no more Skywalkers.
Well, I think that's what Episode 8 is. The biggest thing behind that is getting out of that nostalgia of everything that was Episodes 1 through 6. Yeah. All of that was all about the Skywalker bloodline. Right. And I mean, and I think Luke, when he talks about it in Episode 8, he refers to it as the mighty Skywalker blood. Yeah. And I'm so excited to get away from that.
Exactly.
That's all we've had.
Exactly.
And now we have
Except the
these.
prequels. I mean, well, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it still
But
had
I mean,
Anakin
Anakin
still had-
Skywalker.
It was
Yeah.
strong in the prequels.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you're right.
the whole thing, you go from the main character being Anakin Skywalker to being Luke Skywalker, and now you still have the last Skywalker being Ben Solo.
Yeah.
And Leia, however she gets killed, or they take her out. But
Take her out.
I mean,
Take her out.
Like old Yeller
But-
style. Like,
but
Oh.
I'm really excited for them
Too
to move
soon.
away
Yeah.
from that, and I think that's the whole
Yeah.
reason why. Another reason why people don't like the movie is because they're getting rid of all of the things that people loved about Star Wars, but rightfully so, because we need to move the plot forward. There's so much more that we can do with the Star Wars universe, and people have a hard time dealing with the loss of their favorite characters.
right.
Okay, I'm going to find this diagram. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
But there's this diagram I saw that was perfect about
What
the
is
whole
it
Star
about?
Wars. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Did you like, okay. It was like, did you like the Star Wars movie? One side was yes, one side was no.
Oh, and then spans down from there.
Yeah, and then it
Okay.
man, let me see what it was called. real
Yeah.
quick. Okay, so.
I think for
what's
okay,
up?
so there are a lot of things. Obviously, we're all in agreement about most of the stuff on the
Oh,
list.
yes. Oh, yeah.
On this list, so I wouldn't say that. I still wouldn't say that I dislike it though. It's definitely not the worst Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Definitely not the best either. The best, obviously, being Empire Strikes Back, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
When even though if you remove the stupid casino stuff,
Oh, yeah.
all of the Star Wars films have the couple parts where you're just like, okay, get that shit out. of here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's get past this.
and by every movie, I mean almost all of the prequels.
Yes.
But yeah. So I don't know. I feel like just because there's not a lot of fan service means that I think that's the biggest issue that everyone has.
No, and that is true. It
There was no
does
fan
have.
service.
That's yeah, you're
Yeah.
exactly right.
Except for the opening crawl.
Yeah,
But
which
that
is
was
kind of
about it.
customary.
No.
Okay, so
You
here's,
find it?
here's the diagram. It said, do you like The Last Jedi? And then there's like the yes or no on both sides. And they both lead to, you aren't a true Star Wars fan. Which I've been seeing people battle each other. And I may have been, battling some people myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Defending my opinion.
yeah.
But I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, I guess,
It's just a miracle
just
that we're still
weird.
getting Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Nobody
mean,
wins at this point.
yeah.
At this point.
I mean, and it's just like I said it earlier, like it's like you got to pick one and stick with it.
Yeah.
Either you want to do what J.J. Abrams did with The Force Awakens and have it riddled with nostalgia
Yeah.
and have it be almost a. No, I mean, it's an incredible movie, but it's very much a carbon copy of
yeah.
A New Hope.
Yeah.
Either you want that kind of safe little box, or you want things like Episode 8 where it moves you forward in a totally different direction from what you're comfortable with.
But here's the thing, though.
And you can't have both.
They could have totally have done that with this movie. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can
Well, how?
you can offer some fan service.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
totally
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
You don't need to, because I understand, Ryan Johnson. This is your movie,
Right.
but you have to realize.
As if he's listening to this.
Does he?
Yeah,
claim
yeah.
it? Does he really?
Yeah.
But you have to realize, though. I mean, like you've got a weight on your shoulders. I mean,
Oh,
these
yeah.
fans are these are loyal fans.
Yeah.
And
But, well, I did like what you said earlier, though. You said, just having Star Wars, a Star Wars movie at all is fan service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know you were using it in a kind of a facetious way,
Yeah.
but you're actually kind of not wrong. Just the fact that we're contributing to this universe that, like, people even way before we were even alive, they're contributing to that universe. Like, my mom told me the story when she saw Star Wars in the 70s when it
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
right. Yeah, my uncle would tell me.
You
this.
know, it was how insane that was, and to like grow up and like go through all this universe in her whole lifetime, that is an incredible thing. So just having all these characters come back after so many years, is in itself is a kind of fan service.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I
But
will
at the
agree,
same-
there's a lot
But
better ways to do the story.
wouldn't they have
But
got that
but
in
at the same
7,
time,
though?
if you think about that, it's like, okay, we'll just put these characters here on the side. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, because it's cool you like these characters and all, but let me just kind of make my own film. I felt like that's what he was kind of
Yeah.
doing, and also it kind of felt like he wasn't really doing his research.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't
And
even know how it got through production. Like, because they have to. Whenever
Yeah.
you go into production, you also have to show this script to other people. There's a group that's like, oh yeah, that
I mean,
totally
hey,
made
Kathleen
sense.
Kennedy gave it the green light.
I
so-
know that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
she-
So it's not just even him. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's that group.
Yeah.
And it's obviously they just want to make the money.
Well, it's kind of like the same problem
Sadly.
that DC has. Like DC, like they've been making these movies, and they're just not living up to it. And even if you remove,
Well, Wonder Woman was pretty good.
I like Suicide.
Wonder Woman was great.
I like
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
I love
I
Suicide
love
Squad.
Suicide Squad.
I thought. I mean,
Okay, I'm not.
it could have been. It
This
could
is
have
a
been
Star
better.
Wars podcast, not that.
But I did like it. But it's kind of like that same thing. DC, not with everything, as we agree, but they still have trouble like getting their all their stuff together. And I feel like for example, Marvel has Kevin Feige. DC doesn't have a Kevin Feige.
Kevin Thanos, pretty much.
Right. But DC doesn't have that like main dude who's overseeing the whole.
I mean, they're trying to make Jeff Loeb that guy, but he's still just a comic guy, to be honest.
yeah.
And another thing DC doesn't do right is
I don't know
Marvel
why they're not
has-
having. They need Paul Dini and Bruce Timm to come in and help them with stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're not hiring those guys. Have you seen the animated movies that they've been doing?
Oh, the Sub-Zero. Oh, my favorite freaking Batman movie
if
of
you
all
say
time is
Under the Red
Sub-Zero.
Hood,
Oh, that one was freaking fantastic.
that was amazing.
But before
Sub-Zero
that-
was amazing.
But before that is the Mask of Phantasm.
Brilliant. Also, shout out to Mark Hamill for being the Joker. Oh my God.
Oh, he's not even
He's
dead.
not dead. Why are you looking up?
Luke is dead.
Shout out to Luke / Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But
But those are all so good, and they're all written by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, and in that whole like WB like animation thing.
the thing that's wrong with DC is that they're trying to rush everything because they see how successful
catch up with
Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
They're trying to catch up, but Marvel they have started since like what 2006, 2008, and
With Iron Man.
freaking 9 years later, here they are, and they've got they're about to have the biggest freaking superhero movie ever to have been made.
That
Man,
movie's
I'm so
making
excited.
well over $1 billion. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm not too excited for it. That's my thing because I'm so salty about Marvel.
Why?
You know what you should do is we should have a different podcast.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, I know
Yes,
something
yeah,
because I'm like, man,
I'm
I
saying we as if I'm a part of this now, but yeah.
But
With Star Wars, I feel like you're definitely right. Research was lacking, and I don't know.
yeah, and
And now that I've seen Episode 8, even though I did enjoy it, and like I said, we're all three pretty much in agreement about everything.
Yeah.
But I'm a little cautious to what he's gonna do with the next 3 movies because
I
they
feel
gave
like
him
JJ or who?
I have a
no, they gave Ryan Johnson the whole next trilogy, not just one movie, but all of the next trilogy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: Disney's not like they're not new to changing directors whenever they need to. So I kind of have.
I don't know because
No.
that's why they chose J.J. Abrams to do this last one because the other guy.
Because they are very.
But
If
that-
they're not making money, they're gonna fix it.
Well, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
they're always
is-
gonna make money though. That's the thing. You put that brand, you put Star
Yeah.
Wars on anything, you were gonna
It's
sell out. You put
Disney
Marvel on
Infinity.
anything, you're gonna sell
Disney
out.
Infinity.
They had to take that. I don't know why they took that.
They
down.
took that all down.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I
That,
mean,
that was like a Star
Well,
Wars.
they're not
thing.
good with the video games.
I hope that they have a tighter leash on Ryan Johnson going into like the next trilogy.
Oh, they will.
Now that he's not going
But-
to be involved really with Episode 9, but
He can't really destroy anything though if you think about it, because there's nothing that we.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's all gonna be new,
Yeah.
It's true.
new characters,
Yeah.
probably new planets.
Do you think they'll be using Finn and Rey at that point, or are they going to a whole new time?
I think they're gonna go to a whole new.
Really?
I hope they do.
Some people think they're gonna predate the prequels. even go
That's
before
that's
the prequels.
risky.
That's gonna be weird.
That's risky.
And do like the whole old Republic kind of thing.
Oh, I would love that. And see Darth Revan and freaking.
And Darth Bane.
Oh, I would love that actually.
Yeah.
I would just have. That would be awesome. Just having a whole trilogy of just Jedi's and Sith.
Yeah.
Oh, big-
I wouldn't. I hope though. Like
Oh man.
I don't think that should
badass.
necessarily be canon. I think after Episode 9, that's when you should cut off that series of movies.
Right.
And then you can do other trilogies of Star Wars. Just have it be in different timelines.
Yeah.
How would it not be canon though? Because it's.
I don't know. Well, it's kind of like these spin-off movies. Like they are like canon, but they're not like they don't have opening crawls. They're not like you could skip Rogue One and still be okay seeing all 6.
I think they should have opening crawls because that's gonna. I mean, if they want me to cry in a movie, I mean, that's how you do it.
I mean, if they want any of us
Or
to
they kill
cry.
everybody. I cried when everybody died in Rogue One. Like I was
I
like,
love that movie.
especially
K2SO
when
was a baller.
When
Oh,
Forrest-
hell yeah.
Oh my god, when Forrest Whitaker died, I was so mad.
He was kind of weird though, to be honest.
I love Forrest Whitaker though.
Dude.
That was such a weird. His voice was creeping me out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think though if they if they do the whole Old Republic thing, you kind of can't lose on that because not everyone knows about all these,
It's a lot of deep cuts. You'd have to
Yeah.
go deep into the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now that you lay it out like that, then you'd be okay doing that.
Yeah.
And there's so much more you could do because nobody knows about it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if Ryan Johnson doesn't because if a director usually gets like a lot of hate like this for a movie, they'll like back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, he hasn't backed out. So.
Well, I mean, I feel like he's confident, and I understand. Like I said, it's really the lack of fan service.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if he would have made this movie like J.J. Abrams made in Episode 7, and there was a lot of fan service, we still got more of a forwarding plot.
Yeah.
But I guarantee they would have been saying the same thing. We're like, give us something new.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
It was almost as if, you honestly didn't need to give us a lot of fan service at all. Just give us, a few things. I mean, and you could have just had your old movie.
Like, if he would have
taken out the casino part.
If he would have made the movie with, like for example, that the Yoda part in Episode 8 was a perfect example of that. It still forwarded the plot, but it also gave us enough nostalgia to go, oh my god, it's Yoda, just like from Episode 6.
I don't know if everyone else saw that coming before the movie, but I had no idea.
I had no idea.
Like, I pissed myself. I was like, what?
When you see him walking up and then Yoda appears, I was like,
Yeah,
fuck.
he's in the back of the head. I know. I was the only one that gasped in the theater. I was like, oh!
No, okay, literally, I was in the theater, and I was seeing it with two of my friends from here at TU.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the theater, and he popped up, and it was that quiet, and I was like, shit.
We had somebody like that in ours.
I was like, oh, fuck me. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you guys excited for anything in Episode 9? I'm kind of indifferent. I've kind of stopped trying to formulate theories because obviously
they're not gonna be
Here's my last thing I'm going to say about hating wise on Last Jedi. With the Force Awakens gave us before and after the movie, it gave us the sense of wonder, And Star Wars
with
movies
the
are
cliffhanger and stuff. You mean?
Yeah, but Star Wars movies are really good at showing you trailers, but showing you the minimal, but still getting you freaking excited.
Yeah.
And I remember it was just it was so awesome. The times before Force Awakens coming out, we had all these freaking videos theories on blah 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 blah.
Finn igniting that lightsaber.
Yeah.
And
And then afterwards, we got to keep doing that. We got to keep on coming up with theories and all that because we were excited for what was to come in the future.
Right.
And then Last Jedi comes and it's like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
it's kind of like, well, what are we gonna do now? I mean, what do we expect?
Yeah. There's really, I didn't even think about that. That's insane.
Yeah.
And now that with Episode 8, now that theories have been literally obliterated,
Yeah, exactly.
from existence, I feel like people aren't even gonna really bother, because one of my favorite things ever to do was I know I mentioned earlier all the videos on YouTube about all the theories, but I loved going through all of those.
Me too. Yeah.
From the Film Theories channel. I love his videos.
Yeah.
And all the different things about Snoke, Rey, what's gonna happen with Luke?
Exactly.
Why is Luke the way he is? Why he's so angry? What's up with the First Order? What's up with General Hux? I loved, and it got me so excited and curious about what they're gonna do.
It's just now it's
okay,
we don't
we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
I think what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna have to wait for the first Episode 9 trailer.
Yeah.
Which obviously isn't gonna be for a year.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that because that was a good thing to do while we waited.
True.
I think the best thing to do would be wait until after the Han Solo movie, which we'll get in the summer.
Yeah.
And then once we get back into the fall of 2018, which means technically there will be no Star Wars movie next Christmas.
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because
Han Solo.
Because it was Force
Solo
Awakens
came out in May.
2 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
Then last Christmas was Rogue One.
Yeah.
Then this Christmas was Episode 8.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Han Solo will be in the summer.
Could that be the anthology one then? Christmas?
There's no way they'd do 2 Star Wars movies in 1 year.
No,
That'd be insane.
No,
It
they
would be
can't
awesome
do that.
though. I mean,
but
they
that's
Not enough production time.
They have so much big of a crew
But that's
at Disney though.
But that's the thing I'm worried about because that's what they're doing right now. They're a Star Wars movie every year.
I mean, they do it.
But that's the thing.
Marvel.
You keep doing that, you're losing the magic.
I know.
I mean, people just eat up Marvel movies, but in my honest opinion, they're not all that. They're not all that hype. And I mean,
being the huge comic book nerd that I am, like, I used to go to Rhode Island in the summers, and I would read so many comic books, and I'm obsessed with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And anybody who like is really close to me will tell you that. But I will always go see those Marvel movies. Always. Like there's no way they're not gonna get my money.
Ragnarok, by the way?
Oh yeah, of course.
No, I
So
saw
I-
it.
What? Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Different podcast.
So many podcasts
I
need
know,
to
right?
happen now.
We have so
Yes.
many ideas.
But like they'll always get my money. Like Kevin
Right.
Smith always talks about how like you got my money. Like
Yeah.
it's I'm going regardless. But the Marvel movies are so formulaic. It's almost hard to not be able to pick that part.
Yeah.
And there are things that they do also, just like with Ryan Johnson in Star Wars Episode 8. You know.
And I don't know. Yeah, it's with Marvel movies. I mean, I feel like you can. I don't know. It's just like I don't know how they're able to build up so much hype. Like for instance, I didn't think Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't think that was a good movie.
Really?
Everyone loves it because I mainly think it's because it's a Marvel movie, and a lot of the people that see it, they have families, and they're mainly taking their kids to see it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh wow, pretty colors," because that's what Marvel's really good with colors.
Well,
and,
I don't. Whenever I go to a Guardians of the Galaxy, when I first
like,
went
do you
and saw
know?
the
Okay,
first one,
tell me
What?
this.
Go ahead.
Do you know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy? Did you know anything about?
Oh,
them before?
beforehand? No,
Nobody
I
did.
did not.
Exactly.
But
and then they went in.
they have been.
You know, the
talking-
original Guardians of the Galaxy weren't even like Star-Lord and.
Oh yeah, it was
Drax
like
and
made
more.
like back in the 70s. or
No,
80s.
yeah, but it wasn't even those characters. It
Yeah.
was like totally different
Yeah.
characters.
Oh, yeah.
And even actually Yondu, like the dude with the arrow, he was actually on the team,
Yeah.
as opposed to one of the like the
makes sense,
Junkers. But yeah, so they changed a lot of stuff, but nobody knew who they were before that.
But
movie.
those types of movies, I go into Marvel movies essentially, except like the big ones, like Ultron or.
That was terrible.
I know, but whenever I was
Kevin
like
James Spader.
so
man.
ready for that movie, even though that was a huge letdown, I go into that movie how I go into the movies for Star Wars. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm amped. With Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just, hey, let's go see a fun movie. You know, let's go
Yeah,
get
I
some
mean-
laughs, which they do give you laughs.
I did
but
not
it's
laugh
not one
once.
of those. It's not one of those movies that I'm like so intensified into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have one of my aunts. We always go see movies. That's kind of like our tradition. Especially with Star Wars movies. And we usually every time we see a movie, she always hates it. Like 99% of the time, she'll hate the movie. And we walked out of Star Wars, and I always make fun of her because I'm like, "You just don't like superheroes, do you?" And even though one of her favorite movies is like The Dark Knight, or just The Dark Knight and Avengers, which those are obviously good movies. But this time I cannot believe I walked out on a movie and I agreed with her. I'm like, wow, this movie, you're right. This new Star Wars movie was not all that.
Yeah. Especially if it's Star Wars too. That's
Yeah.
the scary.
That's the thing that hurts.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to keep this up,
Yeah.
and hopefully they won't.
Well, it's really sad.
Because it's like we'll keep going to these movies because
Yeah.
it has like our favorite, it has our favorite brand on it.
Yeah.
The best thing they could do is to move the story forward, give us. I mean, well, now that we're getting towards the tail end of, we have one movie left before this trilogy's over.
Right.
So there's not much they can do in the way of nostalgia because we're pretty much out of that now,
Yeah.
especially at the end of this movie. But the best thing they can do is continue to forward the story and still make it feel like a Star Wars movie. But just like people just need to be more careful, I think.
Yeah. Especially with Star Wars. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so last thing, we're all gonna rank our movies.
All the Star Wars movies?
Yeah, from best
Oh, man.
to worst.
Give me a second. I gotta think
Wait,
about
give me a pen because I need to.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
I need to like.
I'm gonna type it down.
Okay, so I need to just like number mine to be honest. So there's 8 now, right?
8, yeah.
Okay, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Are you going
3,
in that
2,
order?
1.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, god damn it, no.
I didn't
You're
know
right.
all that. I was like, 8.
Okay, I'll do mine from worst.
Is it worst to best? Or
Yeah,
best?
let's do worst to best. Yeah, because
Worst
I
to
already
best.
wrote it down like that.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm writing mine down. Let's see.
You said starting like at worst and then going to best?
Yes.
Oh, no.
so difficult.
I already have my number 1. So, and my number 8. Let's see.
Worst to best, right?
Yeah, worst to best. I think I'm close. I've got 3 down so far. Shoot.
Gosh, this is
Yeah.
really hard.
It is.
Oh man.
Did I seriously just name off all of the... Oh, fuck.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me for some of this.
I'm already hating myself, to be honest. Let's see. Fuck. Okay, actually,
Oh man. Okay.
I forgot all about Force
We
Awakens.
should have written this out before we started this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I missing a movie?
I know. That's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay. 5 is hot.
There's 9. There's 9 movies.
Where are you calling it?
Because the Rogue
No,
One.
No,
just take out Rogue.
No, don't put Rogue One in there.
Because then that's gonna make
Just
it
put
all
like
up.
the main 8.
I have to put...
No, you don't.
I have to.
Why?
Rogue One's like my second favorite Star Wars
Okay,
film,
well
like
now
legitimately.
now it's not.
I've got to put it in.
Okay, fine. Oh no, that messes up everything now.
God, why did I put Revenge of the Sith so far down? Damn.
How do you have yours?
Stop. No cheating.
Oh man.
I'm missing a movie.
Well, what do you have?
I can't.
Just name off the ones. You don't have to name it in order.
Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, Attack of the Clones.
So we are adding in Rogue One.
I guess. Yeah. He keeps adding it in.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, no, but then that messes everything up. So we gotta pick something. Let's
what-
just go with it.
What movie am I missing? Was there not 8 Star Wars films?
The Jar Jar
1,
Binks
2, 3,
movie.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I have 9.
Yeah.
If we're including Rogue One, there's 9.
Shit.
Hold on.
I missed out my key one. Damn it.
Okay, so
That's all.
going in order in case you missed one. There's the first one is The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith.
Mhm.
A New Hope. Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. Right? You can.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about The Last Jedi. Okay, I gotta completely redo this. Do you guys have a list done?
Oh, yeah,
Almost.
I'm good. Yeah, I got
Oh.
mine.
Almost.
It looks like you're just writing in a phone
Yeah,
number.
I'm writing in numbers.
Are you almost done too?
Yeah, I
almost
got my
done.
list. Yeah.
Okay, you got your list already?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Go on. Give us
Okay.
your list.
Okay, so my list, starting at the bottom, obviously it's got to be Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I think
Yeah, that was the worst one.
that's not your worst one.
Not.
You put something about like underneath. I love sand. Are you serious?
I didn't like 8. I really did not like 8.
Okay, but 8 is so. I would rather watch 8 a billion times than watch
No.
Episode 2
Are you
once.
kidding?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, because I got Mace Windu
because-
in there. Come on.
Because I do love the
Mace
whole...
Windu doesn't really do much of anything but
Yes, he
cut
does
off his
whenever-
head. And
no, whenever he's fighting. Well, okay, yeah.
I
But
don't know who to
super
side
good.
with on this one because at the same time,
so-
it was trash.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
which
Listen.
one?
Okay.
Wait, you're saying
if
it like
you
Attack
if
of the
you
Clones.
if you remove how much that you have a distaste for Episode 8, if you remove that,
Yeah, if 8's gone.
8
yeah.
is a much better
it-
movie than Episode 2.
visually, yes.
I would say even with story. I would have to give it
I
because
think-
the whole love thing is just so cheesy and,
Oh, I
and
didn't care
over.
about that. I didn't
It's
care
so
about
bad.
The main thing. Okay, I'm biased because I grew up with it. And I
Right.
know that you grew up with it
Right,
as well.
right.
but this one I can get rid of. Like, if I had to get rid of one, it would be 8 at this moment. Because 2.
You know, people are trying to petition for it to not be canon
really?
anymore.
Well, they try to do that.
They're
with
trying to
all-
petition for
they
this
did that
one.
with all the prequels.
No, yeah, for 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for 8.
They did that with every prequel.
I
So
know.
I mean, just come on.
Okay, so Attack of the Clones is the lowest for me. Then right above that, I have the Phantom Menace. Although I will say
Oh, man.
the Phantom Menace was good, and that lightsaber battle was fucking amazing.
You got me fucked up, man.
Oh my god.
Come on.
And then above that, I have A New Hope.
Why so far down?
Because A New Hope, even though it's the first one, it's not the best one, in my opinion.
It's
And
set up.
honestly, once I hear other people's, mine may change because I don't
I
know.
don't even have one to like fully together. I have like all these arrows everywhere.
And then I have Episode 3.
Okay.
Okay.
and simply because like that really ties the two trilogies together.
Yeah.
And I actually, I don't know if you guys will agree, but Episode 3 is definitely the best out of the prequels.
Oh yes, no, you can leave the other two behind and still have the right story.
Although
No,
with,
you could.
with Phantom Menace.
Do you really want to see Annie and those pod racers again?
Now this is pod racing.
You guys are probably gonna debate me on my list. I know for sure.
The only thing that was good out of that first movie.
Andy, the pod
Yes,
racer.
I was going to say
pod racer.
it is him. Yeah, it is.
Slave.
You will give me the engine. No, I won't.
I will not.
Oh my god. Dude, he is like my favorite. I wish he was in 8. It would mail.
Yo, Jedi mind trick won't work on me, Jedi.
Andy.
It would be awesome.
Honestly, can we make a whole podcast where we all just talk like that?
Anakin,
no.
Hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And then in episode 2,
Pod racer pods.
in episode 2, when he's like, Annie, like, it's so
Your
funny.
mother is gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
The sand people, they're take her and they
Yeah.
pods.
Yeah. Okay, so then I have episode 3. Then above that, I have Return of the Jedi. Then Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, then Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to switch that. Force Awakens, I'm going to put above Last Jedi.
Force Awakens before Last Jedi. Okay, so what was Last Jedi ranked on yours?
Last Jedi is ranked 3rd overall.
Really?
That's a bold claim.
Yeah.
That was very bold. Ethan, you got yours?
Yeah, I got Last Jedi.
Okay, you're doing worst from last.
Worst to last.
Okay.
Okay. Last Jedi. That is not my
Worst
first.
worst to first.
Worst to first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Worst to first. Last Jedi.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was not good, but I didn't think it was that.
It's not. It's definitely not that bad.
No, I know it's not that bad, but just for me, like, I guess personally.
Sentimental?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like I understand what they were trying to do. I just don't agree with it,
Right.
and I'm not gonna let that.
Are we going by
Justify.
like sentimental and like how we feel about the movie? Or are we going by like?
I was going by how I felt.
Hell, I was just making a list.
'Cause I was kind of going by like the movie that I was most entertained by as just like a viewer of the movie.
Right.
I mean, if I was talking about like.
Oh well, then that would be totally different for me then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if I was going by like emotionally what happened in the movie, Last Jedi would probably be a little further down.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was doing too,
Well,
like emotionally.
Well, I'm just gonna say.
like the impact.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna go with impact and emotional.
Oh,
for me.
if we're doing impact,
Yeah,
then
no,
Last
you
Jedi
can-
has
you
to
can
be way
do
up
yours.
there because this like changed everything that we know
Yeah.
about Star Wars. I'm sorry.
I
Continue.
still don't. No.
Last Jedi is last. What's after that?
Okay. Clone Wars.
Okay.
Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Right. Then we have.
He's so mad about that.
Then we have. I actually.
Ethan stepping big doo-doo this time.
That's a bunch of bandipoodoo.
Episode.
That guy.
Who is the guy that Annie was like his arch nemesis?
Oh,
in the
Guido-
other
was it not
Guido?
Puldu. What's his Sebulba? That's
Sebulba Binks or was it? What was it?
Yeah.
Sebulba something. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see? Okay, I know this is a sidetrack.
I don't even remember that.
Did you guys ever see
Oh my God.
the robot chicken with Jar Jar Binks and it's Darth
Jar Jar.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's where Darth Vader. It's like where he's in the New Hope or like whatever.
Right.
And somehow Jar Jar gets on the ship and he's like, Annie! Oh my God, you sound like.
I could
Oh
used to
my
do.
gosh! Like I started cracking.
I could used to do a very good Jar Jar impression. I don't think I can do it anymore.
I used to have the T-shirt, and my mom hated it because
Really?
it's just him, and he was like, and I'm like,
I had a
I would
plate.
wear it all the time.
for-
No, I had the plate too.
You did?
Did you have the cup?
Yes, the plate in the cup.
Yes. That was up. He was like
Yes.
the worst character.
For
But
Jar Jar, all anyone has to
Yes.
do is go how wood or something like that, or like
I feel
with that long-ass tongue.
dude. I feel like the reason why I like love him so much is because he is just like me. Like
I don't
Looks
know.
like you too.
So all of the fans of Star Wars must hate you. Like literally.
well, no,
I
because,
hate
like,
him.
because, like I have so much ADHD. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what was that? Oh, like no.
Oh my. Oh my
But,
gosh.
okay,
I wish
I
I, could
digress,
still do
I
it.
digress.
Can I still do his
You practice it while I finish. Okay.
While the mic
practice
is on.
mentally?
So I do A New Hope,
Okay.
Rogue One,
Okay.
then okay, I put a half, so it kind of messed me up. Empire Strikes Back, 7, and then I forgot the last one, the last name of the last one, 6.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
That's an
Wait,
interesting order.
Yeah. Okay. So where was Empire Strikes Back in that?
Third.
Yes.
Underneath Force Awakens.
I can see that. A lot of people like Return of the Jedi because of the closure.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like it because the good guys win.
Yeah.
But I feel like Empire Strikes Back had a deeper because you didn't win. That's that's what made it like.
No, I can see that.
You know, just unpredictable.
Yeah.
But
Plus, I mean, you
respect
can't get rid
that
of the iconicness that is the realization that Luke was the son of Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, we mentioned it earlier, but I was talking to my parents and especially my mom, and anyone who's from that era, who grew up in the '80s, who was able to go see Empire whenever it was in theaters, could not believe that was where they went.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that was like the M. Night Shyamalan thing.
Right. And then I don't know if
that's like the biggest twist in movie history.
Well, yeah, and
I wish
kept
I was
it
there. I really
know.
they
wish
kept
I
that
was.
so close, and there are interviews with Mark Hamill where he was saying only 3 people knew that was going to be a thing.
It was Mark Hamill.
Myself, George Lucas,
Lucas.
and the producer of the movie. And when they were on set, David Prowse, the guy who was in the Darth Vader, they had him doing the lines even though they didn't use his voice. They used James Earl Jones, but he read the lines on set for shooting days, and so they had him reading a totally different line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it was you never know what happened to your father. No, I killed your father.
Oh, okay.
And so, or something like that. Or
Yeah,
like a filler line.
No, yeah.
And so like Carrie Fisher didn't know, Harrison Ford didn't know.
Well, yeah, no, because I remember.
And then they found out in the movie, and then
Norton.
there's I think there's an interview of Mark Hamill, and he said, Harrison Ford turned around to me and said, "Hey kid, I didn't know, you didn't fucking tell me that."
Yeah.
It was which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything, that's a huge moment in cinema history.
And also another thing about that movie has got to be the best sequel of all time.
My God.
Yeah. Fuck The Godfather too at this point.
Yeah.
Like that man, dude, the greatest sequel in cinema history.
Empire Strikes Back obliterated A New Hope.
Oh yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: A New Hope is legendary, but not a lot of cool stuff happens in that film.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talking, a lot
Whining.
of exposition, and then the little lightsaber fight is not even a lightsaber fight. It's like
2 old men.
it sounds so bad, and I hate to rag on Star Wars, but it's just 2 old dudes doing this and saying something about evil, Darth. Strike me down and I shall become blah blah blah. Finish it yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not that interesting. And then coming from that to Empire Strikes Back, what? And then oh my God, the most
Changes the game.
evil villain of arguably all cinema history ends up being the good guy's dad. Holy shit! And there's all this stuff that happens. The good guys don't win. I think that was. I don't want to say that was one of the first times when the good guys don't win, but usually in movies like that, good guys prevail in every movie.
Yeah.
And they are hurt at the end of that movie.
It was definitely a dark film for that time. For that time it was dark. Looking back at it, we're like, oh, it's not, it's a little lighthearted. It was dark back then because you never saw stuff like that.
And that visually stunning fight with Luke and Darth Vader in the dark,
gosh,
with
in
the
the fog,
lightsabers,
with the fog,
right.
and then the freaking.
And I saw something on YouTube recently that was talking about that fight and how great that was. And at first I was like, okay, well, there are better fights, like the one in episode 1 with Darth Maul and stuff. That was an amazing fight. And in episode 3, that was an amazing fight. But he was breaking it down, and at the beginning, Luke is very serious.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Darth Vader's just using one hand, almost like he's toying with him.
Right.
Yes.
And it's just like it's all fun and games. And then as you progress, Luke starts to kind of find his footing in the fight,
right.
And then ends up kind of
because it was like Vader was teaching him,
right? And then he starts actually getting good licks on Darth Vader, he kicks him down that shaft, and then Darth Vader, boom, he makes that weird noise. And then later on, Darth Vader starts using the Force to outwit Luke, and then ends up cutting off his hand, and then you get that moment. So
let's not forget that Empire Strikes Back had the best love story in
I love you, I know.
Because okay, nowadays you watch movies and the romance is so forced upon.
Yeah.
This one just gradually.
You can see it coming nowadays a mile away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Very telegraphed.
Which Han, he's like my favorite character.
Yeah.
In the whole series.
I love that moment in the Family Guy ones where he's like, "I love you," and he goes,
Oh,
"Fuck off."
Yeah. Funny. And then he like pulls his pants down.
I
and
know.
What's it called? Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll get to my
You
list.
ready, bud?
Yeah. Okay. So at my number 8, surprise, surprise, Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
My number 7 is gonna be Last Jedi. Because this list was kind of hard.
Yep.
My number 6. This one was a hard one. Between my 6 and 5, I think 6 is gonna be Phantom Menace. Sadly.
6 would have to be Phantom Menace.
Yeah, sadly, because I love Phantom Menace because that was the first Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Same.
literally, I saw it in theaters, and at that point, I was like, God damn, like, that's some imagination that dude had on him.
Yeah.
And then, like, I remember, like, literally every day when I was a kid, I would watch that VHS over and over and over and over. But yeah, I even had that little game for PS1. It was a cool game.
Oh yeah, man.
And then number 5 is gonna be Force Awakens.
Okay.
4 is A New Hope. 3 is Return of the Jedi. 2 is Rogue One, and of course number 1 is gonna be Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Yeah, still Phantom Menace. I kind of want to put that higher on my list, but I just don't think it should go above any of those other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I think it was hard for me because if I have to give an emotional attachment like what you did, Ethan,
Yeah.
I'd have to say the prequels would be a lot higher on my list.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like where we all grew up. You know,
Yeah.
that's our age group. But then, I mean, regardless, Empire Strikes Back is going to be number 1.
Right.
But the prequels would definitely move up, especially Episode 3, I think, because I really like Episode 3.
Yeah,
No,
I did too. Ooh, I like the last half.
it has some
Yeah.
positiveness in it,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah,
not to hold it.
especially man, like the prequels had the best. Like I said, the best fight scenes.
Well, I mean, and rightfully so. That was supposed to be like the heyday of the Jedi and stuff. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, and
Also,
I-
you
and
have all
supposed-
those connections
and
with
that-
all those
yeah.
other Jedis and now the Sith.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
in Attack of the Clones, I'll give it its props for that one really badass scene where all the Jedi's go charging into the
Oh, hell
freaking
Yeah.
what's it called? That was cool.
In that big like arena.
Yeah, that was cool. That was it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Count Dooku was. He was a character that was cool, but he just needed more depth to him because you didn't really know too much.
And then he
about
gets
him.
like killed really quickly at the beginning of Episode 3.
Yeah, which I was like,
Yeah.
you
And
know
then
what?
Obi-Wan gets taken out like a little bitch at the beginning of that movie.
Exactly, and then he goes and beats Anakin's ass at the end. I mean, they're struggling, but
yeah.
because
like
he's pissed. No.
It makes no sense.
I remember. I don't know if you guys ever played the Revenge of the Sith game.
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
That game was fun.
I loved that
It
game.
was awesome, and then
The game was actually kind of hard though.
what it was. Do you remember there's an alternate ending?
Yeah.
To where Anakin jumps over Obi-Wan, stabs him in the back.
Oh, what? That's-
Yeah, you could play as like there was like the regular ending and there was like the dark side ending.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And where Anakin would win and stuff like that. And then it was actually cool because it was the first time you could do like battles, like hero
Yeah.
battles.
Yes.
Dude.
Oh, you know what game still holds up to this day?
Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
The original Battlefront 2.
I've been playing that all freaking
Dude,
day.
okay, like I just want with the new Battlefront 2, I just wanted them to recreate Mos Eisley Spaceport.
I want them to put Hunt in it. Remember Hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you could be the Wampas, and then they
Yeah.
had the one where you could be the Geonosians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I
not-
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I want that. Like, but
Mos Eisley Spaceport was like
was that the one? Which one was that?
that was the one where like they're in. I think it's on Tatooine.
Yeah.
And then it's like nothing but heroes and villains.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Heroes versus. I think it was just Hero Hunt, or was it? What was it?
No.
I think it was it Assault?
No.
No,
It
it
was.
was-
You're a su-
it was-
versus-
It was the Mos Eisley Spaceport
I
on
know what you're-
one of the different modes.
I know what you're talking about because you had all the heroes and all the villains going at.
You had like Mace Windu,
Yeah.
Yoda, like Anakin,
Oh, man.
Luke. It was awesome.
Man, we all need to get together and play that, man. That game was so
Yeah, for
freaking.
real.
Dude, a let's play.
Yeah, dude, that game was.
go.
It still is fun, man.
And it still holds up.
It's-
But if they would have just recreated that into the new Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
with how that game looks great.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Even though it's EA and I hate that they do all the DLC BS.
Oh my god.
Like, oh man, that game, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, because I had the
Oh,
first
have you been playing
one.
it?
I played the first one, but my PS4 got broke.
Oh
Oh, I feel you. I have the first one as well, and that one's really good. Like I play it with Milan all the time.
I got it for like $20 because everyone just didn't like it.
I want to buy a new PS4.
Yeah.
How'd you break it, by the way?
It's a long story. It happened when I was at NSU back in college. And,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
If it hurts, you don't need to talk
Heroes
about it.
Heroes and Villains.
Heroes and Villains, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, because I've been playing that this morning. I was like, man, this is fun, but like, I wish I could like play with someone else because I feel kind of weird.
Most
to play
I
by
remember,
myself.
like-
Did you ever play the campaign?
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh yeah,
That-
dude, that campaign's
Wait, for the new one or the
dark.
old one?
Old one.
Oh, the Galactic Assault?
Yeah.
No.
No. It's called
Battlefront 2.
Rise of the Empire.
No, I'm talking about Battlefront 2.
Yeah, on the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it was dark because
No, I'm sorry. I
because
thought that was Galactic Conquest.
No, there's Galactic
No,
Conquest and Rise of the Empire.
that's where you would play with someone else.
Then I haven't played it.
What?
What?
How
No,
many-
I don't remember.
Okay, we'll show it to you after this, but dude, it's amazing.
Okay, because pretty much it's like a war. It's a freaking war movie, pretty much. And like you're a clone trooper, and you're like you have like these little journals that you know you're kind of retelling.
So you stay
the
through.
battles.
You're the same clone trooper.
It's the
whole thing?
501st.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
I
Oh,
would
the
say
501st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and I mean, it. Oh gosh.
Right? Is that what you said?
I said 501st. I've never heard it 501st.
Whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
I think he
No.
called it the 501st too in the game.
Yeah, no, he calls it the
Oh, he
501st.
does. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I can't-
no,
I guess you're the stupid
know,
one.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
fuck
you're-
me, I guess.
No, but I was just like, what? Like,
I mean,
hold on.
I can't
My bad.
call it 5-0 and then first. You're like.
501st.
Yeah, because he would be like,
Yeah.
the 501st have been taken.
That makes sense. If you were in war, you would have.
Yeah.
Like that.
Did you know?
He doesn't have
Did you know they made a fan made Battlefront 3, but they added something I always wanted to where you could like get in your ship like from the ground and just go to space and do some space battles, and then if you're done with that, you go back down. That's what I always wanted.
never
Okay, I don't know
heard
if you
about
guys
that.
saw it,
That'd
but
be amazing.
the game got canceled. But there was a great game that they were gonna come out
Are you
with.
talking about the Boba Fett one?
The Bounty Hunter one?
The 1313?
13.
Yes,
That looks amazing.
that looked
Yeah.
so good. Like
pissed
deep
off,
within
yeah.
like the bowels
Pretty,
of Coruscant
too.
and like
Yeah.
the like crazy different levels.
Uh-huh.
I would have, and they had like that little like first level like mini walkthrough.
Yeah.
It looked so good. The graphics were
Yes.
amazing. The story, I loved the
It
premise.
was like a mixture of Star Wars and Uncharted.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Bounty Hunter game with Jango Fett?
I didn't like
Or yeah, Jango Fett.
Are you talking
that
about
one.
the
Didn't.
Commando?
That one was weird.
Yeah, it was
No, I never
whack.
played
That I love that game, and I go way back for that game just because it's like
Republic Commando.
Yes.
Republic
I
Commando.
never played that.
Well,
That was like the Call of Duty.
You can't
That
even
was-
get it now.
You can't?
Like if you go, well, I mean, you probably could, but the thing is, it's so like rare most of the time. Like I go
Yeah.
to vintage stock all the time, trying to find it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's." In
Do you
this
guys ever
one."
play Knights of the Old Republic?
No, I never got into that.
I never did
have,
either.
I have it on my what's it called, my little Kindle Fire.
Yeah.
Is it good? At least
It's hard.
there?
It's hard on the Kindle Fire. I mean, it's because it's. I think the people who made freaking
WoW?
Mass Effect
Oh,
and all that
okay.
BioWare, it's kind of that style.
Is it more like World of Warcraft?
I feel like it would be better on a console.
Really?
That's my thing. I did play the one on PC. I didn't really care for it because I don't really like PC games. But the one game that was always so fun was Jedi. You ever played Jedi Academy?
No, I didn't.
I had it,
That
but I could never play it.
why?
Because okay, so I found it one day at like a thrift shop, like whenever I was a little kid. I was like, oh, and it's like in this like steel like
was it
box
messed up?
or whatever.
Was this disc
Wasn't
messed
even
up?
in there. I bought the whole thing.
Oh damn!
It was gone, and I was like,
Bro, you got swindled.
but I got the
So
box,
bad.
so I was like, okay, I got the box.
Literally, it was.
nice.
That's probably one of the best Star Wars games
Yeah.
because you
Really?
can make that.
Is that
'cause
where you
was-
play as Obi-Wan?
No.
Right? No.
Yeah.
No, that's
no,
the
that's
one where you.
Obi-Wan has his own game.
Yeah, this is the one where you make your own character
Oh, really?
and you guys like you and your friends just battle each other.
That's
And then the story is like you're a Padawan of Luke, and you're just like training the Jedi Temple and all that. And it's pretty cool. I don't think it holds up too well, but
nothing ever does.
I'm so surprised at how even the controls on Battlefront 2 just hold up. Just
Oh, and yeah. Okay, I keep thinking now, like
Oh,
Battlefront 2, and
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
The good
Still haven't played
Battlefront.
it. It does look amazing though.
mm-hmm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And then there was what's that one where you're like the guy who's a Force user, but you have like you have a lightsaber and then you
Yeah.
can have a gun. You can switch through them, and you could actually like when you hit people with your lightsaber, it would like actually like cut them and all that.
Oh, what was the most recent Star Wars game that's not Battlefront?
Force Unleashed.
Yeah, those were good.
Those were good too.
The
Yeah.
first one was.
First one was real
I
sick.
didn't-
The second one was kind of.
I mean, they're so short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great premise for the game, and I
Yeah.
feel like they cut that short really.
Wait, did you guys play 2?
I played 2.
I played both.
Does
of
it
them.
like end like in a way
I
that they
never- I
can
never
like
beat it.
continue it?
Kinda.
Oh, okay. Because I never got through the second one. I got through the first
They
one.
could have. I mean, they could have expanded it if they wanted to, but
Yeah.
the second one just didn't do well. I don't think.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
They had another
We've
after.
gotten so off topic.
that's fine.
Yeah, we're done with the topics.
Yeah, we're done with all that. Yeah.
But it's like when oh yeah. Okay, so when 1313 ended, this one studio called like Visceral Arts, they were gonna make another Star Wars film, or not film, game that was that looked just like 1313. We didn't really get too many because they have a little trailer of
They
it,
ever
but
talk
it
about
just
it again?
no, but that's the thing, they canceled it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something happened and some with the rights or whatever, and they had to shut it down.
Yeah, just killed them.
Yeah, but it looked amazing from what I saw because like they showed just a character walking down like Tatooine, and you saw like a freaking like Star Destroyer like flying up ahead. You know, the graphics were awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why 1313 got.
Well, it's because they got Disney got it, and they were like, "Hey, they
Is
made
that-
it gritty."
Is that right when
It was gonna be rated M. I think.
Yeah, when they.
that's when Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Disney canceled the
So
project.
Disney canceled it because they
Those
were like,
motherfuckers.
"Whoa,
Yeah.
hey, we can't have
Yeah, because
we just got
1313
Star
looked
Wars.
dark.
It
Yes.
looked like you were gonna kill
But
me."
I
Because you
wanted
snapped,
it, though.
You snapped a dude's neck at
Yeah.
one point, and then, oh yeah, it looked. Oh man, it looks so good. But I think we just need to become game developers and just bring back games that just died.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I feel like if you have enough people asking for it, you should do it. I mean, Disney owns Fox and all that, and Disney is agreeing to keep Deadpool as
I was gonna bring that up, but I think that that's a different time because the thing is, even though that happened, like okay, with Star Wars, you definitely are gonna have little kids.
Yeah.
Marvel, I didn't really watch Marvel as a kid. I was a Star Wars kid.
All the kids nowadays love Marvel.
No, I know, I understand that, but also, Deadpool did so well, and I think it just came at the right time.
Yeah.
Essentially, is because one, it was like the highest grossing rated R movie. I mean, we saw it the first day that it came out, and it was hilarious.
It was.
And so I feel like even though that Deadpool got by with it, they would not do it with Star Wars. Because I feel like that's more of like a kid thing. You know what I mean?
Plus Star Wars has never been one to be like rated
Oh, yeah.
R.
Well, no, I was so surprised that they had cuss words in this one.
They did?
Even in 7. Yeah. I wrote them down because I was talking to Jake, and he was like, I didn't hear any cuss
Well,
words.
no.
I was like, no, he says badass, he says bastard, like twice.
I know in the original ones they say like damn and hell every once in a
Yeah,
while.
but that's like, that's in the Bible.
I mean, Mark Hamill does say like, Chewie, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, but like I don't feel like that's like that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But like Finn at one point calls them a bastard, or calls Captain Phasma a bastard whenever he's like,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna
You
destroy-"
bastard!
Yeah, he's like, you bastard, you did all this, and then
And then she goes out like a bitch.
yeah. So I mean, I guess it equals out. But I was very surprised about that.
Yeah. Oh god, the whole movie was just a surprise to me. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah. Pretty intense.
Well, guys, I think it's about that time. We've been talking for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how this one podcast has like spurned a bunch of other different like
Hey.
for Marvel.
That's
DC.
how it usually goes, man.
Someone's got to rattle this down.
Yeah.
I want to come back. This is fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, okay. Well, final verdict. Ethan, what's your final verdict on this movie?
No go for me.
No go.
I will watch it as a viewer of just if I want to have fun, I'll go watch it.
Right.
But as a fan, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan.
Man, we've had a lot of good conversation about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I still enjoy the movie, but I will err, I think, more now on the side of Ethan, whereas like if you are a super fan and you're looking for a movie that fits in with all the rest of the universe and you're looking for like what a typical Star Wars movie is, this is not going to be a movie that you will typically enjoy. Yeah. There's a lot of things that happen differently. and I think it's more of a shock than anything else. And yes, it pushes the whole story forward, but it's in such a different way that people really aren't used to yet. I hope that it goes better for episode 9.
Oh yeah, I do too.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is a fun movie, and I did really enjoy seeing it, even though I saw it like a billion times. I mean, I would still enjoy it if I saw it like right now. So
Yeah.
I think I'd go back. Yeah, I think I like it.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, it's definitely a lot to take in, and his lack of fan service, which, like I said earlier, as a filmmaker, I can understand how you want to, make this into your vision, But, man, you have to realize, you've got dedicated fans watching it. And you've got to deliver something to them.
Right.
And I know it's a Star Wars film, but, man, we wait years. We theorize, we freaking... We just wait. We wait, we do so much. Then we just kind of just get rewarded with, like, nothing, in the end. There was really good fight scenes. I'll give them that. Cinematography was amazing. Colors were beautiful. Still to this day, I hate the freaking casino scene. I will never get over that.
I think we all agree that was absolute bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. And overall, I mean, this will never be my favorite Star Wars film. Never.
Yeah.
Because it felt the least like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it probably won't be my favorite of all time either.
Yeah, but I will say... there are parts that made it feel to me like Star Wars.
Like the Yoda part?
Yeah, the Yoda part, the opening crawl, that would always get me. But yeah, and that's another thing. When it ended, it didn't feel like like it was supposed to end right there. It was kind of weird. But,
well, the same thing happened with the Empire though, because they ended on like a weird note where like Luke and Leia were just looking at the galaxy, and then it just like fucking cut. So
by the way, we're brother or sister.
But also, it's like but also, I kind of look at it as this. It's like, what are they gonna do next? They can't do anything. They killed off Luke, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's just how I'm looking at it.
I'm saying, man,
the only
time
thing,
jump.
The only
Gotta
thing
do
that
a
we
time
know,
They've got to do it. Yeah.
if they keep going, the only thing that they gotta do is Kylo and Rey's fight, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Hopefully that doesn't come down to that.
and adding on to what I've been saying about my final thoughts, I think for this next film, I'm probably not going to go in as surprised because I didn't watch any trailers except for like the last one.
Same.
Right. For episode 8.
Yeah. So 9, J.J. Abrams, you've got a big.
You are our last hope.
Yeah, you are our last hope, man. And yeah, you've got a lot that you need to do, man.
I think he's got an even bigger task than he did with episode 7.
Exactly.
Because now, like, he got episode 7, he did a good enough job where people were really excited for episode 8.
Yeah.
And now people are really getting to that cutthroat stage. And so if he doesn't deliver...
But I don't feel like it's his fault, though.
It's not his fault.
Well, no, but like, I'm not gonna hold it to him. I'm gonna hold it to this dude.
Right.
What is his name?
Well, yeah,
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. I hold it to you.
Yeah, but he's not coming back for this series.
I know.
Regardless
And
of director, like...
No, I
it's going to
understand
reflect
that.
on regardless. you know.
Obviously, but I won't be personally. I won't be pissed about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, overall, the movie was all right.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good, but it's not
It's
bad.
not bad.
It's not terrible. But yeah, I mean,
It's not Clone Wars, okay?
yeah. Even though I kind of ranked it down there with it.
Yeah.
But it was a risky movie. You got balls, Ryan Johnson. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Not the right ones.
Yeah, you don't got the right ones at all.
We should send this to Ryan Johnson so we can hear
Oh
him.
my god, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, if you ever need help on like a Star Wars film,
Even though that was
I kind of like you.
talking
know
to you
any-
I
this
love
whole time.
Looper. I love Looper. That was a great
Yeah,
film.
no,
but,
he did make some good movies, just not this one.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, but overall, probably not my Star Wars movie. It's not my president.
By the way,
Not my director.
not my Luke Skywalker.
That's a thing going around.
Yeah,
you know
but
that, right?
did any of you guys have like a feel about like whenever they're at the not cantina, but the casino, about that being like kind of like Trump type stuff?
That's what they're trying. I know that's what he was trying to.
Very like erudite. Like
I was just like, come on, we all know.
Because when we go to movies, we want to get away from all.
Yeah.
And
I'm not trying to hear another Sarah McLachlan message about animal cruelty.
I know.
Please give me a break, man. I didn't come to see Star Wars.
Lights off.
And then she's like, man, and
We
they
have all the money.
Ray's even like
China.
or not Ray, but what is her name? The
Porgs.
Asian girl. I can't think.
Rose.
She's like,
Bitch ass.
or they're
I
like,
can pay
they're
to
like,
a kiss on the rose on a ring. Ooh.
but they're even
Shout
like,
out to Seal.
hey, there you go. He's not dead either. Like,
We're gonna keep doing.
I'm
that.
like,
okay, they're all up there.
Batman forever, baby.
Hey, there you go. But with Rose, how she's just like, or Finn, he's like, man, this wasn't worth it. And then she's like, take off that harness. No, it's worth it. It wasn't worth it still, Rose. Come on.
That didn't change anything.
I know, that changed nothing.
Once
Come
again,
on.
Yeah.
I can pay you to a kiss on the rose on a
Oh my
ring.
gosh.
Oh yeah, but oh no, we all are conflicted as all the fans are. There's like right now there are like
Fans
one half
are-
of fans love it,
Yeah.
another half hate it,
Yeah.
and you know, it's. I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you
Also-
don't. I mean, it does not make you a Star Wars fan if you
Right.
don't like it.
Yeah.
It does not make you a Star Wars fan if you
Also-
do like it. I mean, we all have our opinions.
Right.
I don't think everyone thinks Empire Strikes Back is the best.
Not everyone does.
Yeah.
Even
And,
though, like,
like,
so
it
even
does-
though Last Jedi is definitely not the best Star Wars movie that we've had so far, I think that everyone is pretty much in agreement on that. But you know, when I walk out of the theater from seeing something like this, I'm just glad that I'm still alive in the time that this. It sounds very cheesy,
Yeah.
but like, and it's kind of weird how now like big budget Hollywood has moved towards nothing but superhero and Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm a big nerd. I mean, I would like a more variety, but
I wouldn't
you know,
want another Triple X movie. I'm just
To
saying.
be honest,
like,
that's,
that's what we got left if we don't have superhero movies.
that's kind of why I don't go to the movies anymore.
Yeah.
I always sit home and watch like little independent Netflix films.
well, even
Yeah.
those are
Because-
just like amazing.
Well, I mean, not like Netflix, originals.
Oh,
Not
okay,
not
okay.
like those. I mean,
Yeah.
like
but you just like
Yeah,
run
because,
through
like,
Netflix.
yeah, because it's just like that's all we get. That's all we're getting nowadays. Like
Yeah.
remakes, rehashes.
It's all about reboots and superheroes and
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, what
And
happened to
Jumanji.
creativity
Oh, well,
that
that's
we
a
had?
reboot. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be a filmmaker that makes besides Star Wars, that and a Batman film.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to be that type of filmmaker. I want to make my own original stuff. I don't want to be like
Well, and
labeled.
I feel like that's where we like kind of the paths go separate to where one goes to YouTube, and YouTube
Oh.
is a very big platform. I mean, yes,
YouTube,
it
yeah.
has its issues right now, but still overall, it's good. It's better than Vimeo. It's better than all these other platforms that we have. It's the best bet. But that's where you get that independence.
That's true.
And I mean, like personally, you know that, and I know that from working on short films. But
yeah,
it's good.
yeah, but we'll just have to see for the future of Star Wars. But well, it's been a fun podcast. Though.
Yeah.
It was,
How long have we been?
We are at 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Jeez.
Almost,
That's gonna-
41
This
right
is
now.
see.
It's
You know
great.
what's funny is that you could listen to this podcast and have a more enjoyable talk about Star Wars than if you were to actually see The Last Jedi, which is the same runtime as this podcast.
right? Also,
and
go
this,
see
and this,
it.
and this,
Go see it.
Yeah, go see it. You go make your own opinions. I mean,
Tell us.
Don't just listen to us. I
Just
mean,
tell Anthony. I don't want to hear about it. But, like,
yeah, I mean, because that's the thing I tell my aunt, because she's always on. That will determine if she sees a movie.
Yeah.
She goes on Rotten Tomatoes and see what other people think.
No, it's always
you gotta
you.
form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Because for instance, she liked Batman versus Superman, which I don't even know.
Hey,
why.
good for her, though.
Yeah, and
Not a lot of followers on that. But.
no, but yeah, I mean, and it wasn't well received. at all.
Guado.
But yeah, I mean, it's just
I was like, I've been trying to figure out his name. Anu Guado. Sorry.
Can I do the
I
jar?
digress.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
you can do the. Yeah,
I'm
send
gonna
us
try.
home with the Jar Jar Binks voice. So after this, we'll cut it, but
Okay.
we won't cut you.
There we go. Well, thank you guys for watching, and here's my Jar Jar Binks impression.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm so ready for this.
Annie.
Wait. Do you want me? Let me look up some.
It's me, Jar Jar Binks.
good.
Isa in this podcast.
Isa in this.
Misa in this podcast.
Dude, it sounds so good, dude. Okay, I'm ending it. I'm gonna end it. Okay, thank you for watching.